Welcome back to Second and Short. It is January 5th, 2024. I'm here with Luke for the first time of the new year. His first time in now 2 weeks. A little sick last week. How are you feeling now, Luke?
I feel great. Still having some residuals, stuff going on, but overall, man, I feel great. Happy to be back, ready to get it going.
Awesome. Well, it is the final week of the NFL season. Week 18 has been quite the journey. Lots of injuries, lots of storylines, a wild MVP race for sure. One that has been very confusing, very hard to keep up with, and just so much going on. Great rookie performances, great veteran performances, guys coming off the couch to play some football this year, showing everybody what's up. Yeah, it's been a fantastic year. And then, of course, we have our top five catchers in 2023. We'll round out everybody in the infield, and then we'll move on to the outfield next week. And then we're going to update on the transfer window. No Premier League this weekend, no UCL until like mid February. So we've got a little bit of a break from that. So we're going to be covering some transfer news today. A lot of stuff going on there. A lot of random moves. Some moves have already been done, but nothing too big. And then, of course, we'll round it out with questions time. Nathan got us another round of questions on Reddit. Luke, I will have to say, you're not allowed to look at them yet. So don't go to Reddit and look at the questions because one of them I have to ask you the question. You have to give me the answer.
Okay.
It's like a quiz
Sounds
question.
good.
Uh,
Oh, it's
so
like there's a right answer,
Yes,
basically.
yes, there is a correct
Wow.
answer for one of these questions that we've got. But without further ado, let's get into week 18 of the NFL season. Wow. What a route it has been to get to this point, but a lot of clinching scenarios. I've got all of the clinching scenarios here in the notes. We'll talk about all of them in every single game for both teams if it counts for both. We've got two games on Saturday, Steelers, Ravens, and Texans, Colts, and then everybody else on Sunday for it all to be decided. And then the playoffs start next week. Wild card round starts January, I think, 13th, maybe. Could be wrong. Yes, January 13th, Saturday, next week.
Sounds about
The
right.
wild card starts. So we'll start off. Your Steelers taking on the Ravens. Steelers got a couple of routes they could get in. First, a Pittsburgh win and a Buffalo loss, or Pittsburgh win and a Jacksonville loss or tie, or Pittsburgh win, Houston and Indy tie, or Pittsburgh ties, Jacksonville loses, and Houston Indy does not end in a tie. And then your final scenario is a Jacksonville loss, a Denver win, and a Houston and Indianapolis doesn't end in a tie. So you guys have to win unless you're going to rely on ties.
Yeah.
And the Ravens already came out. They're not starting Lamar Jackson. It's going to be Tyler Huntley in at quarterback. I think, not 100% certain on this, I think Odell is not playing, and I think Zay Flowers is not playing.
Well, Tyler Huntley is a Pro Bowl
That
quarterback.
is true. Tyler Huntley, notable one-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Something to be worried about
No,
there.
I'm super confident. I think the outcomes if we win are very possible. We've already beaten Baltimore once, but it just seems it would be very Baltimore to still beat the Steelers somehow.
Yes, it would.
Um, but we still need to be perfect. Look, Mason Rudolph looks great. We actually look like a team that I would say if Mason Rudolph is quarterback, we could win a wild card game.
Okay.
I really I think so. I'm very confident. I'm super confident in the new Steelers team. Um, yeah, I mean it looks great offensively. It's just so much better.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be tough. Obviously, like winning this week wouldn't is not gonna be all that crazy. It's more that in the scenarios where you guys win to get in, you either need Houston and Indy to tie, or you need Buffalo or Jacksonville to lose. Jacksonville taking on the Titans, and Buffalo taking on the Dolphins. So that one could
Mm.
definitely get interesting for Buffalo because we'll talk about Buffalo, but there's a chance that if they win, they get the number 2 seed in the AFC. and there's a chance that if they lose, they don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's really all down to Miami kind of just letting them catch back up.
Yeah, it is an interesting scenario there, but we'll get to that when we get to that game. For now, I feel like the Steelers should probably win, considering backup quarterback. A lot of guys not going to play. If they do play, they'll probably only play the first half. I do know Odell has an incentive. He needs about 80 plus yards, I believe. It might be a touchdown incentive. Could
Ooh.
be remembering incorrectly. That could be a factor, but I think you guys will be fine. I'm going to take Steelers. Yeah, Steelers 20, Ravens 17.
I'm gonna go Steelers 27, Ravens 17.
Okay.
27-17.
All right. Well, let's get into another game with serious playoff implications. Saturday night on ESPN at 8:15, Texans
Ooh.
Colts. Both these teams 9-7. They're tied with the division leader Jags, who have the tiebreaker over both of them. All of those teams sit at 9-7, and these two face off for a chance to make it in. So, Houston has a couple of chances. They clinch the AFC South title with a Houston win and a Jacksonville loss or tie. They clinch a playoff berth by winning or by tying and a Jacksonville loss and a Pittsburgh loss or tie. So it's essentially win and get in, lose and you're done. That's the basics. If they tie, of course, there's some weird scenarios, but for Indianapolis, they clinch the AFC South with a win and a Jacksonville loss or tie, or Indianapolis ties Houston and Jacksonville loses, and then Indy would clinch a playoff berth, but not the division with a win, or they could tie and Pittsburgh just has to lose for them to get a playoff berth. So both these
Yeah.
teams certainly playing for something here, and you've got them essentially
Definitely.
coming back to close to full strength. I'd say CJ Stroud looked great last week. The Texans as a whole looked pretty good. Nico Collins fully back. He's now had 2 weeks back on the field. You have Dalton Schultz. I think he's chasing an incentive right now as well. Um, Devin Singletary has been playing pretty well down the stretch, but then on the Colts side, Gardner Minshew's been great leading them to this point. Guys across the team have been stepping up. You have the good games from Jonathan Taylor, and then you have a good game from Michael Pittman, and then maybe an Alec Pierce performance or a Josh Downs performance. So many guys on this team really making an impact, especially down the stretch where they've gotten themselves to 9-7. They have a positive record, and considering their future franchise quarterback Anthony Richardson goes down in week 4 for the rest of the season with a shoulder injury, this is a great place to be in. First year head coach.
Oh yeah. The Colts have really they've really just had to battle through a lot this season. I
Yeah.
don't really think they've gotten the credit. They didn't have Jonathan Taylor for a long time. Anthony Richardson, like you said, goes down, and they just kind of had to, do with what they had, and they did a pretty damn good job of it the whole season. I don't really have much notes on this game other than the fact that it's crazy that the Texans are 9-7 right now.
Yeah.
I just feel like we were holding them so high, and then they just, I don't know, their season kind of exploded a couple weeks ago, and now they're fighting for a shot, maybe not to play in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. Right now, they're a 1.5 point favorite. I like CJ Stroud's chances to beat this Colts team. I think, you know, they've got everything to play for here. Like, this would be the moment for these guys. Like, kind of a similar setup to the Colts, both of these teams. First year head coach, first year rookie quarterback. Obviously, Anthony Richardson gets hurt, but Gardner Minshew, first year with the team. Um, they have kind of the backup story that has swarmed the NFL this season. And but then you have like these great young receivers. You have pretty solid defenses for both of these teams. They're very similar when you look at it on paper. I just think the Texans have the X factor kind of guys that the Colts don't. And in a situation like this, I'm going to go ahead and side with the Texans.
All right, yeah, I think I almost want to see the Colts get in.
Fair enough.
I don't know, part of me wants to see the Colts get in, but I just I don't know. This game could go either way. This is going to be, I think, within 3 points. This is going to
Yeah,
be a good one.
definitely. I'm going to take it a little bit higher scoring just because I trust both of these offenses to really get something done. I'm going to go Texans 28, Colts 24.
I'm going to go 24-21. I'll probably just give it to Houston.
Okay. Well, then
That
let's.
honestly could be interchangeable. I could see the Colts winning 24-21,
Yeah.
honestly.
All right. Well, for Sunday, we'll start off Browns Bengals. No, playoff clinching implications here. The Browns are in, the Bengals are out. Browns probably going to be sitting some guys for sure. Uh, I don't think we've gotten a confirmation on a backup quarterback, if there even is one on the Browns playing. Um, I would assume Flacco will, because I think he has an incentive to reach in that contract that he got, just a couple of weeks ago. Cincinnati's opening up as a 7-point favorite.
What?
So I got a feeling Flacco's sitting. Um, like I said, I haven't really
Wow.
looked, but very interesting. Yes,
Yeah,
they are sitting
the
Flacco.
Browns
I
are
just looked at it.
okay. The Browns are another team that they've really done a lot with what they've had too. Probably more than any other team in the NFL, but as you and I both know, with that defense that they've had all season long, you can I mean, even a serviceable quarterback is going to be able to get you some wins on, some weeks where your defense keeps it close, which for the Browns is most every week, but damn, that guy Flacco, it just with him playing like how he's playing, I honestly like the Browns are a serious threat. They're
Yeah.
better than the Dolphins, better than the Chiefs probably too, which is crazy with Joe Flacco as their
Oh yeah.
quarterback. But I'm, even as a Steelers fan, I hate to say it, but I'm really, really high on what Cleveland has done, and Joe Flacco looks absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, we'll have Jeff Driscoll at quarterback for the Browns this week. The
Damn.
1-year backup for 4 teams, I believe, for his career so far. So, yeah, I don't see the Browns even really trying. Considering last week you had, such a crazy moment, of course, but you had Amari Cooper and Elijah Moore both go down. Um, they're probably not going to play either of them. Flacco's not playing. I feel like this offense loses just about everything um, with the guys they're sitting.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty safe to just go ahead and take the Bengals. And I'm going to take the. Oh, I think my score prediction probably. I'm going to go Bengals 21, Browns 7.
I think I'm gonna take Cincinnati. I'm gonna take Cincinnati 17-10. Um, but I mean, Cincinnati's another team that we could talk about too that have just kind of been a weird wild card. Like there were a lot of teams that had to go to backup quarterbacks this year that didn't end up having a completely busted season.
Yeah, for
Kind of
sure.
weird. I like definitely like more than usual. I feel like, and it's crazy the way that the AFC North is just shaken up with Mason Rudolph actually coming in and doing a lot more than what people thought. The Bengals are sitting last right now, and what's crazy to even think about that is they probably weren't even really that good with Joe Burrow too
Yeah,
for a while. They couldn't get it figured out. So I don't know. The Bengals are just another team that were just very very strange this year.
yeah. All right. Sorry for the pause. Trying to figure out what that background sound is in Luke's microphone. Can't figure it out, but it'll be fine. You'll get over it. Just like I'm getting over
My bad.
it.
Yeah.
So, let's get into our next game. Vikings Lions. So the Vikings do have a chance at playoff berth, despite being 7-9, losing last week to Green Bay. It's a pretty lengthy one. There's 2 ways to go about it. Both of them require, of course, a Minnesota Vikings win. So they need to win. They need a Green Bay loss, a Seattle loss, and a Tampa Bay loss.
Oh
Or
gosh.
Minnesota wins, Green Bay loss, Seattle loss, New Orleans loss to get into the playoffs. And like that's not
Yeah,
like
I don't
out
know
of
about all that.
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities. I just don't see all of that happening.
Yeah.
Because like you have, the Seahawks are going up against the Cardinals, which if the Cardinals know what's good for them, they'll lose to keep their spot in the draft because they already fucked it up last week by beating the Eagles. And for the Bears might beat the Packers. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I believe we got a few Lions sitting this week as well. If I had to assume they would be.
Oh, for
um,
sure.
let's see. Not seeing anything in particular, but I think it would be a safe assumption to say that Jared Goff's probably sitting. But I think they're playing for seeding now. After that horrible outcome last week with the players reporting, not reporting, and all of that, it really shook things up for their seeding. So they might be playing for something this week. So we might see a full lineup. Detroit is still favored 3.5. So that makes me think nobody's sitting. But for the Vikings, I believe Nick Mullins is back to starting after they pulled Jaron Hall from the game
Yeah.
last week during his start. I think Nick Mullins is back in. Doesn't give me much hope for them.
Not at all. Yeah, this Vikings team is just completely imploded after Jared Goff, or not Jared Goff. Josh Dobbs went down. Um, yeah, even Jetta's being back just really didn't help out this
Yeah,
team. They are a complete struggle bus.
definitely.
Yeah,
they
I
they
mean,
really suck. Like the Packers put a
what
beat down on them last week.
what did the Cam Akers trade do? Why did they make that trade?
Nothing. It literally did nothing. And I felt like that was going to be the case when it happened. This Vikings team was never going to run the ball.
Yeah, do you remember like the point in time where people were like really high on Cam Akers? Like they would
Yeah.
draft him high in fantasy drafts and stuff. Whatever happened to that?
I don't know because he's only been in the league like, what, 3 years?
Yeah, I
4
know.
years? Because like
Is
when
he
he
is he a
came out
Florida
of
State guy?
yeah, when he came out of Florida State, I was like
Yeah.
super excited because like first of all, when he came to Florida State, it was like, oh my god, number one running back in Mississippi, which is a great place to be the number one running back out of. Um,
Yeah.
5-star guy, played great at Florida State. Went in like I think like the second or third round to the Rams. It was all written up how it was supposed to be. Gets hurt super early in his rookie season and just like fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, he hasn't done anything for that team except I think score a rushing touchdown before Alexander Madison. Um, so I got
Yeah.
a safe bet in saying that the Lions are going to win this game. They're only a 3.5-point favorite. I think they've got a very good chance to probably just put a beat down on this Vikings team. I know, Nick Mullins is probably going to play better than Jaron Hall, but these Lions guys are playing for a little bit of revenge against the NFL and against the refs here. So they're going to do everything in their power just to run it up. I got a feeling we're looking at like a I'm gonna go. I kind of trust the Vikings defense to put up a fight. So I'm gonna go Lions 27, Vikings 14.
I'm gonna go Lions 27, Vikings 10.
All right. And our next game, once again,
Let's do it.
few playoff implications here. Jags Titans. So Jacksonville can clinch the AFC South Division title by just simply winning, or if they tie and Houston and Indy tie. I don't see that one happening, but Jacksonville could definitely beat the Titans. I think that's a safe assessment. But they really need to win. Obviously, because you get a better seed, whatever. They could just get into the playoff with a tie and a Pittsburgh loss or tie, or a Pittsburgh loss, a Denver loss, or a tie, and Houston and Indy, one of them wins. So no tie in that game. And then a Jags loss, I believe, would still get them in. So I I got a feeling Jacksonville wins this game, but I'm pretty sure Trevor was out last week. Is that correct? I think he's back though.
Yeah,
Okay,
he
he's
was
listed as
out.
questionable at the moment.
Is Will Levis back?
I don't know. I'll be honest. Let me pull up their injuries right now. He is questionable. He was there at practice on Thursday. That's the only update I'm seeing.
Okay, did not practice on Wednesday.
Gotcha. So, look, like the Titans obviously are going to play. Like they're going to try and beat the Jags, try and fuck them over. I don't think it's good enough. Like the Titans are their best at home, but 4-4 for a 5-11 team doesn't really mean much.
Yeah,
And
that
luckily
is
the
true.
Jags, they're good on the road. 5-2 for a 9-7 record is very good on the road. If Trev is back at full health, we can trust that, Etienne can carry the load for him, even if he's not, all that mobile. Because I think it was it a foot injury? Is that right? Or was
Oh, I
that
don't know.
Levis?
I do not know.
One of the two had a foot injury. I'm pulling it up right now. Shoulder. Okay, so that definitely changes things. If the shoulder isn't working, there's some issues. But like last week, no Zay Jones, no Christian Kirk. I think this week they're coming in a little bit healthier, obviously, if Trevor is going to be playing. And I'm going to go ahead and just take the Jags. Just, I simply can't assume the Titans can win this game. Um, I'm going to go Jags 20, Titans 13.
I'm gonna take Tennessee here.
Okay.
I feel like this is a very upsettable game. Jacksonville, I feel like every time they are backed into a corner, asked to show up, to prove that they are a team that can hang in the NFL. I don't think they've done it this year. Um, so I'm going to take Tennessee in this game. It's going to be close, though. I'm going to go like 23-20
Okay.
Titans.
Fair enough. And our next game, Jets Patriots. No playoff implications in this one at all.
Yeah.
Honestly, the biggest thing is Patriots draft pick implications. You should probably lose if you're the Patriots. I think they're slated right
Yeah,
now
that's.
to pick fourth or third, possibly. Yeah, I think the last thing I saw was um, Panthers, which I guess is the Bears pick, and then Commanders and Patriots, or Patriots Commanders, one of the ways. I don't know how they figure that stuff out, but Patriots should probably just lose. It's in their best interest to lose. But then again, a lot of teams whose best interest is to lose don't, i.e., the Texans last year. Um, and for the Jets, maybe you could come out and just win this game. You probably shouldn't as well. But the Patriots just beat the Jets always. I think last
Yeah.
15 meetings, the Patriots beat the Jets. I'm going to just go ahead and say it. The Patriots are going to slip up and beat the Jets.
Did the Patriots sweep the Jets last year?
I believe so.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Interesting.
also, this would be a really good fuck you by Bill Belichick, because it looks like they're gonna try and fire him. And like I'm seeing reports about like a bunch of staff from the Patriots is like turning on him, all this shit. It'd be a great fuck you by Bill Belichick to get a win when they least need it.
Yeah, I know, right? God, I don't know about that. What do you think about them trying to part ways with Bill Belichick?
Look, the guy is still, no matter how this goes down, he's the greatest coach of all time in my eyes. Um, Certainly the greatest coach I've watched coach the game. Um, he could get another job, I'm sure of it. But when it comes to the openings that are out there right now, there's not a lot of good options. So somebody would probably have to fire a coach that they've got right now that probably shouldn't be fired, which doesn't happen often. I just don't think
Yeah.
like a team like the Chargers is not going to go for Bill Belichick. The Panthers, the Raiders, maybe, but the Panthers no. Like they're not going for Bill Belichick.
Atlanta?
Nah, I don't think it doesn't fit right. It doesn't seem to me, um, with what we've got, culture of the team, whatever. Um, it just doesn't
Yeah,
seem like a lot of the openings right now would fit Bill Belichick as the head coach.
that's fair.
I'm still locked in
Yeah.
on Vrabel and Bill Belichick just switching teams. That'd be awesome.
Really?
Yeah, that would be sick. Or
Bill Belichick to the
the
Titans
Commanders.
or the
Commanders or
Commanders? Yeah,
Titans?
because Ron Rivera's probably out,
Oh, gotta be. But I think the Commanders are just gonna bump Bieniemy up the head coach. That would make the most
which I
sense
would
to me.
like. Yeah.
Nonetheless,
Um,
final score, uh 13 to
fun to
10.
fun.
Patriots 13, Jets 10.
Um, I'm gonna go Jets 16, Patriots 7.
Those are some ugly scores we just predicted. And
Yeah, there
one of
are.
us might actually be right.
Yeah.
It might be that bad, but this is a game that really
Oh boy.
matters right here. Falcons Saints. The Falcons can only
Ooh.
get in if they win the division, and that would take a win by the Falcons and a Tampa Bay loss to the Panthers. Interesting. And then New Orleans can both win the division or just get playoff berth. They can win the division by winning and Tampa Bay loses or ties. And if New Orleans ties us and Tampa Bay loses, New Orleans would win the division. They can clinch a playoff berth if they win, Seattle loses or ties, and Green Bay loses or ties, or New Orleans ties, Seattle loses, and Green Bay loses, which is redundant, but whatever. You can blame CBS because this is where I got that from. Um, yeah, look,
Oh man.
as much as I want the Falcons to make the playoffs, I don't want to see Arthur Smith ever again. And whatever expedites his way out of the door works for me. We're 2-6 on the road this season, which is something that isn't getting talked about enough with how bad of a coach he is. Like that comes down to coaching at that point. If you're a 7-9 team, somehow you're contending for your division title by the grace of God, but you're 2-6 on the road, there's a problem. Obviously,
Yeah.
there's plenty of other problems outside of our home and road splits. Quarterbacks, running back usage, everything else that's going on is a problem. I just want Arthur Smith out the door. So, first time on the podcast, I'm projecting a Falcons loss.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's tough. And look, we need to be in the right position in the draft to take somebody that I like. And right now we sit at like 9th. I want to be 7th, maybe 8th. That's what I'm looking at right now. It's week 18. I'm looking
That'll
at the
give you a good
draft.
shot.
I'm a Falcons fan. I'm looking at the draft.
Oh man.
I need Michael Penix.
Yeah,
That's what I need Michael Penix.
that's
And
what
we
he's
could pick
saying.
way later than that and get Michael Penix. I just need him. That's what I'm saying.
So you think Michael Penix is the guy?
Yeah. But if we don't want to go quarterback in the first round, we got to go defensive end. I'm liking Leatu Latu from UCLA. I'm liking Braylon Trice from Washington as well. If we go double Washington, I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's a undefeated football team.
yeah, so far. They still got to play on Monday.
Yeah, so
But
far.
yeah, look, the Saints are I'm not going to say they're good. They're in a weird situation as well. Cuz it seems pretty clear that Derek Carr is just not the answer, but he's not like horrible. He's just not the answer. And they simply
That sounds like his
cannot
career.
they simply can't replace him is the problem. They can't go out in the draft and get a quarterback because he's still going to have 3 years left on his deal, and they still are going to be in cap hell. Like, they
Yeah.
fucked themselves making that deal for Derek Carr.
Oh, 100%. 100%. But I don't know. They might lose Michael Thomas though.
Yeah,
I really like. God, that's a player that just makes me so mad. I cannot. I hate seeing where his career is going.
yeah. I love
But
it.
I mean, I'm sure he's probably getting paid a lot of money though.
Yeah, he is. Definitely.
um, yeah, this division is so weird. Honestly, Tampa could have ended it. They could have ended it all basically if they
Yeah,
won last week against New Orleans, but they
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 could
ended
have.
up fumbling the bag. Um, ah man, I think it'd be kind of funny if Atlanta got in. That'd be kind of cool.
It'd be funny. Thank you.
I mean, I'm just saying. I like it's I'm surrounded by Falcons fans as I live in the state. I think
Yeah.
it'd be funny to see you guys in the playoffs because you guys wouldn't know what the hell to think.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what I'd think. I don't want to see Arthur Smith on our sideline again.
But
Is what
you
I
would
think.
watch that wild card game.
Of course, I'm not going to miss a game of football. Maybe like I'm
Oh
not going to
man.
put on my Julio Jones jersey to watch the game, but
Oh
like
boy.
I'd root for the Falcons if they made the playoffs. But I would selectively root for certain people.
Listen. Bottom line, final score: Falcons Saints. I like the Falcons. I don't really know as a team if they really care that much to be in the playoffs. I don't know if that's really their goal.
Yeah.
But I like the Falcons backed into a corner more than I like the Saints if they were backed into a corner this year. I'm going to go Falcons 23-17.
Okay. I'm going to go Saints 20-17. That kills me inside to say, but it's more it's I want that to happen.
Dang. It's the Saints too.
Yeah. That's the worst
uh,
part. I'd be fine projecting the Bucks or the Panthers to beat us, but not the Saints. Speaking of
Never the Saints.
Bucks Panthers, our next game. Obviously, the Panthers are shit out of luck. They've already clinched the first overall pick for the Bears, so the Panthers have nothing to play for. But also, they could just play spoiler here. They could come out here and fuck over the Buccaneers. Are they going to? Probably not, because even if this game was for the Panthers to make the playoffs, they wouldn't win. But
Yeah,
Tampa,
very true.
they've got some scenarios. So they win the title if they win. They win the division title if they win, or if they tie and New Orleans loses or ties the Falcons. They clinch a playoff berth with a tie, a Seattle loss, a Green Bay loss, or tie. Um, Look, Tampa's gonna win this game. Like I'm very sure
Yeah.
about it. Baker can step up. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, these guys on this team can step up. This is the spot that you step up in. It just kind of it seems like that should be the case.
Yeah. I don't know though because we've had games where we've kind of been sucking the Buccaneers dicks. And they've
Yep.
also had games where we've been like, how, you know, this team can't do anything. It's kind of weird. I don't know. It's almost as if like if Tampa isn't getting the ball effectively to Chris Godwin or Mike Evans, or if Rashad White has a bad game, no matter who they're playing, it's probably going to be pretty bad.
Yeah.
But they're playing the Panthers, and that it really doesn't matter how bad you play. As long as you're not the Panthers, you can beat the Panthers
It's a good point.
and have a horrible game.
Yeah. Or
So,
as long as you're not the Falcons or the Texans, you can beat the Panthers.
yeah. Yeah, but I'm definitely going Tampa in this one. I think
Yeah.
it'll be like I don't know. I don't think Tampa can run up the score
No,
on
I
them,
don't
so I'm
either.
just gonna go like 17-7
Okay. I'm gonna
Buccaneers.
go Buccaneers 21-7. Pretty standard
we
one.
yeah.
All right. Well, now we
Oh
get
boy.
into the 4 o'clock slate, which they overloaded with games. We've got, I believe, 6, 7 games, 7 games
Damn.
in the 4 o'clock slate. which I guess is what I've been asking for. I asked for them to stop overloading the 1 o'clock. Now they overload the 4 o'clock. But we'll start off Bears, Packers. So the Bears have nothing that they have to play for. But we remember last year, the Lions in this exact same spot got eliminated from the playoffs like a week or two prior. They came up against the Packers week 18, or maybe it was week 17, knocked them out of playoff contention by beating them. The Bears are in the exact same spot because Green Bay, to get into the playoffs, just has to win. That's all they have to do. They could also tie, have a Seattle loss or tie, and a New Orleans loss or tie and get in. They could tie. Tampa Bay could lose and Seattle could lose. They could get in. Green Bay could tie, Seattle ties, and Tampa Bay loses or ties. They'll get in. Or Minnesota loss or tie, Seattle loss, Tampa Bay loss. That's your options there. It's
Mm.
I want to say the Packers will win because I really like this offense. I really like what they showed last week against the Vikings. But Justin Fields is on some other shit right now. He's trying to keep his job. Matt Eberflus is trying to keep his job. I got a feeling the Bears are going to do this.
I do too. I mean, like, look at them now. They're 7-9, Grayson. That's insane
Yeah.
from a Bears standpoint.
Yeah, they
Not to
never
say
should
that
have been
they
7-9.
can't. They really should not have been 7-9.
Tyson
But
Bagent
they
got them
have
like a
just
win or two.
yeah, yeah, he did, and his dad.
Yes.
Is his dad? Why was his dad more important than he was?
Professional arm wrestler.
Oh, I know, but
World champion.
yeah, I don't know. The Bears have just been on fire, but
Yeah.
kind of like what you said, and I haven't really given them credit all year long. If Aaron Jones has a good game and Jordan Love doesn't turn the ball over, the Packers have a really, really dangerous offense at 8-8.
Yeah.
Really underrated. And I think the real question is if that offense shows up, can the Bears outscore them? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Obviously, Jair Alexander will be back, as long as he doesn't try to be a captain in this game.
Yeah,
And
God forbid.
like Jordan Love has been fantastic this season. I definitely don't want to take that away from him. He'll most likely, as long as he passes for 157 yards on Sunday, he'll surpass 4,000 passing yards this season. He'll be
Yeah.
30 plus touchdowns, and he's thrown 11 picks, which isn't great. Better than the likes of Jalen Hurts, Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff. Better than them, which is nice.
Any of the Steelers quarterbacks combined.
Patrick Mahomes has thrown more picks than Jordan Love.
Wow.
Yeah. Same amount as Brock
Jordan Love
Purdy.
played the whole season, didn't he?
Yep.
That's
Pretty
a
impressive.
rare guy too. Quarterback
is.
who played the whole time.
Yeah, nowadays, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I really think the Bears can do something here. That's as far as I'll go.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to project them to win, which I'm literally going to have to say in like a matter of minutes. But I certainly think they can win.
Yeah, if the Packers have a game where they put up like 28 or like last week they put up 33, I don't know if Chicago's going to beat that.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
But I'm going to ride the hot hand and I'm actually still going to take Chicago. I think it'll be 28-24 Bears.
Okay. I'm checking the weather right now. For that game.
That's what it's come to.
That's what it's come down to. No precipitation, but
Ooh.
it's going to be 26 degrees. They like it cold in Lambeau. I'm going to take the Packers at home. Bears are 2-6 on the road. That's what it came down to. I trust Jordan Love. I love Jaden Reed. I love this offense. So yeah, I'm gonna go Packers. Packers 20. Packers 24. Bears 20. Bears 20. Real indecisive on that one. So let's get into one that does not matter at all. Broncos Raiders. Doesn't matter. Nobody can get in. Jarrett Stidham back at the helm for the second week. God, this sucks. Broncos Raiders
Yeah.
sucks. I
Yep.
don't know what the fuck's gonna
Oh
happen
boy.
here.
I mean, this Russell Wilson shit is crazy. That's
It
all I'm
is.
gonna say.
It is insane.
And I'm kind of more. I think as much as I hate to say it, I'm more on Russ's side.
Same.
But also, Russ is totally the type of quarterback though to look at his agent and be like, I want you to basically put these stipulations in my contract to make it almost impossible for them to do anything negative
Yep.
to me. Which, I mean, obviously it's a contract. That's kind of what you want
Yeah,
to do.
but the thing
But
to me,
I
it's
could
like the
imagine
Broncos
Russ
shouldn't have
being
agreed.
very good.
The Broncos
Yeah,
should not have
no,
agreed to those terms.
should not have.
And then they agree to them and then try and go back on them and use it against him is even crazier.
Yeah.
It takes two idiots to sign
Ridiculous.
a contract. Like, that's the way I'm seeing this is like Russ and his team were probably dumb for putting that clause in, or at least kind of crazy to be putting that clause in. And the Broncos were just dumb enough to sign it too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of fucked up things going on over there. And John Elway's the owner.
not anymore.
That's I haven't really
Not anymore.
Forget about that.
Yeah. Well, when Russ got there, he was, or like they traded for Russ, and then the Waltons, the Walmart family, bought it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I guess the
Totally
Walmart
forgot
people
about
suck. But on the Raiders side, like Aiden O'Connell, sometimes he's really good. That's the glowing review of Aiden
Yeah.
O'Connell. Is that sometimes he can do things really good, and sometimes he doesn't complete a pass after the first quarter and wins a football game. Like last week they played the Colts and they lost by 3. But Aiden O'Connell had a crazy day. 30 for 47, 299, 2 touchdowns, no picks. That's fantastic. Pretty low yards per attempt, but still fantastic. If they just want to come out and do that again, they could do it. Because the Broncos defense hasn't really shown me all that much in these last couple of games. Not really helping out the offense, despite last week where the Chargers were helping out the Broncos offense somehow. But yeah, I don't know who's going to win this game. Vegas is favored by 3, but it's a toss-up in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Zeus, Mr. Zamir White, can have a good game again, I love seeing him get rushes. I think that's so cool. Devontae Adams coming off of a pretty big week last week as well.
A lot of targets.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna ride the man out of Purdue, Mr. Aiden O'Connell, and I'm gonna go Raiders 21, not Colts. Sorry, that's who they played last week. Broncos 14. Raiders 21, Broncos 14.
Well, I'm going to take the Jarrett Stidham revenge game over the Raiders. And I'm going to take the Broncos 20 to 17. There it is.
Right.
That's how it's going to go. And our next game does kind of matter. Philly can still win the title for the NFC East title. They play the Giants. I don't see the Giants trying. They know for a fact they need their draft pick. And Philly can clinch the title if they win and Dallas loses or ties. And if Philly ties and Dallas loses, they can win the division. I feel like the Eagles need to just come out and win this game. But whole lot of news surrounding that team. So much going on.
Oh, yeah.
They're saying the locker room's falling apart. You got like A.J. Brown losing his fucking mind. Like you got the offense making their own play call that Sirianni didn't call on the final play last week. It was a mess. And I don't think you can just clean up a mess like that in a week. I don't even know if you can clean up a mess like that by the playoffs. That's my issue right now with Philly. Is they are broken.
Yeah, that's crazy news. But yeah, AJ Brown, like you said, is starting to lose his fucking mind.
Yeah, and I don't blame him.
And I have no idea why.
No,
Oh,
it's
I
just
don't.
so dysfunctional right now in Philly. Everything changes every single week.
Yeah, but I mean, but AJ Brown is a constant, I would say, in that offense, though.
Agreed. Agreed. But he's also a leader on the team, and when your whole defense is fucked and you've got like Desai doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, and then you decide, you know what, Matt Patricia probably knows what he's doing. Bring him in. Now he's the full-time defensive play caller, and he still doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
I
And
know.
the defense has sucked from the start of the year to the end of the year. And the offense is falling apart. Jalen Hurts is turning the ball over a shitload. And you just lost to the fucking Arizona Cardinals. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Mm. Yeah, it has been pretty bad in Philly, but I mean they've still been able to, find wins.
Yeah.
Keely Ringo is becoming more a part of that team, which I think is kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
Um and the fact that they have Shaq Leonard now is kind of unfair. He had a really really good game against the Giants.
Yep.
Maybe you don't give up on guys like that, Colts, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Then on the other side, like you said, the other team just needs their draft pick. I mean,
Yep.
there's no reason that they should win.
Yeah. Like, I got a feeling Saquon's gone after
Yeah,
this. What a disappointing season for the Giants.
yeah. Darren Waller too.
Yeah,
Just
like
been
first season with Darren Waller, and he essentially got the opportunity to do nothing. Like, it was crazy.
yeah. Jalen Hyatt, everybody high on him.
Yep.
Didn't really
He had
come
his
out in this
games.
team.
That was about it.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. No. I mean, and I remember they added guys like Isaiah Simmons,
Yep.
Bobby Okereke. I mean, they were really trying to make a push, and here they sit 5-11, and
Yeah.
we're talking about them playing for draft picks. So.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna go Philly. 24-10, something light.
Okay. I'm gonna go Philly 20-17.
Ooh, close one.
Yeah. I think it'll be a close one. Just because I think the Eagles are dysfunctional at the moment. Um, you definitely don't want to know what I think they're gonna do in the playoffs.
That's true. Do we just hop over to the other NFC Beast game, or you got another one in mind first?
No, we'll go to the other one first. Seahawks
All right.
Cardinals. This one, like obviously the Seahawks should win. They can still get into the playoffs. Seahawks can clinch playoff berth. If they win and Green Bay loses or ties, if Seattle ties, Green Bay loses, and Tampa Bay loses or ties, and then if Seattle ties, Green Bay loss or New Orleans loss or tie, they can still get into the playoff. But another team that I don't know what the hell's going on with the Seahawks. Like
Nah.
last week was weird for sure. Um, just a weird game against the Steelers. Steelers played great. I'm not going to take that away from them, but like you had DK had a
That's a
great
game
game,
Seattle should have won.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, but like uh, not a horrible game in the running game. Not great for sure. Like Kenneth Walker only got 10 carries. They had 15 carries as a team. Gino had a good game. DK Metcalf had a good game. Tyler Lockett, non-existent. Jackson Smith and Jigba, outside of his one touchdown reception, which was his one reception, non-existent. It just seems like
Yep.
there's not enough going on, which is crazy considering they have a pretty good quarterback, a great young running back, one of the best wide receivers in the league. I think that's safe to say. And Tyler
Yeah.
Lockett, who is one of the best veteran receivers you can get right now. And then a great first round draft pick at wide receiver with Jackson Smith and Jigba. How is that not enough offense?
I know, and I mean even defensively as well.
Yeah.
I mean they're great there too.
Yeah.
Re-added Bobby Wagner. They got Devin Bush from the Steelers, who was actually the tackle leader in this game. I think he sucks. He was talking a lot of shit in this game too, or
Yeah.
you know, leading up to the game. But I mean, like,
They went out, they
he's still
traded for
talented.
Leonard Williams. Like, there's
Yeah,
so many
Tariq
guys on this
Woolen.
team. Yeah, Tariq Woolen was
Yeah,
so good last year. Um, Quandre
Andre Diggs
Diggs,
is solid.
great. Devin Witherspoon, a first round draft pick. Like, so many people on this defense should be stepping up,
I,
and they're just not.
yeah, also, I mean, adding Noah Fant, that can't really go
Yeah,
unnoticed either. They were a team that got better, but their record did not get better. I don't
exactly.
know
Obviously,
really
what
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 happened with
obviously
Seattle.
killed them was you lose against the Rams, and then you have to play the 49ers, which you were just destined to lose. Then you lose to the Cowboys, and then you have to play the 49ers again. That
Yeah,
4-game stretch killed them. And they tried to bring it back. They beat the Eagles, then they beat the Titans, and then you lose to the Steelers. Now you come up into this game, and yeah, you can definitely win this game. It doesn't put you in. So I think the Seahawks are going to come out. They're going to play really well. The Cardinals know they should lose, and the Seahawks have something to play for them to lose. Whereas in some other situations where a team needs to lose, maybe the other team probably should too. The Seahawks should just go out here, play their best game, win the game, let everybody else's fate decide how their fate goes. I'm going to take the
yep.
Seahawks. I'm going to go 27 20.
I'm gonna take the Seahawks 31-10. I think this is a game where they're really just gonna blow them out of the water.
Okay. Well, let's get into our next
Yeah.
game, an AFC West matchup. Chiefs Chargers. Not much playoff implications here. The Chiefs clinch the division. The Chargers suck. Um, yeah, Chiefs are sitting, I think, Pat
Ooh.
and Travis Kelsey. Um, Chargers, a 3.5-point favorite. uh,
Really?
yeah, I think the Chiefs are locked in at their spot. I believe they're
That's funny.
the third seed, locked in at the third seed. Uh, yeah, it's been a weird season for both of these teams. Like the Chiefs start off
Yeah,
six
big
and
time.
one, and now they're 10-6, and then the Chargers start off shit and end the season right about the same place. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, this is just a fucking weird year for both of these teams. I,
Yeah, Alex Erickson was the leading receiver on the Chargers last week.
yeah, me and Colin talked about that in the recap, and like I was like asking him questions about who Alex Erickson was, and he was having to try and answer them, and like he still wasn't sure while actively reading his bio on ESPN.
Oh, wow.
That
That says a
guy's
lot.
nobody. Um, look, like the Chiefs obviously don't care to win this game. The Chargers shouldn't either. Um, Easton Pick is going to be starting. I'm trying to get that going. I like that name.
Easton pick.
Yeah, and like the Chargers don't have much firepower in this lineup right now either. Bunch of guys hurt for them.
Yeah. Yeah, Chargers are just another team that we can go on and on about how they, on paper look really good, especially defensively. Defensively, they have
Yeah,
just stars everywhere. But yeah, I mean, Eckler doesn't really care to be on the team anymore. That's definitely apparent. Your star quarterback went down.
yeah,
Keenan Allen's getting old. Your first round draft pick sucks. And that leaves you with Alex Erickson to
yep,
take the helm and get you the win against the Chiefs in a meaningless game,
yeah,
which is not going to happen. I think the Chiefs could still
yeah.
win.
The Chiefs might still
I think
win.
it's that bad.
Who's the backup for the Chiefs now? It's not Chad Henne anymore. I know he retired. Um,
Yeah,
Blaine
I'll
Gabbert.
look that. Hey,
Fuck yeah. Get to see the Blaine train, the pride of
the
Missouri.
Blaine train. Yeah, Blaine Gabbert can beat the Chargers.
Yeah, especially if you go look at his fucking haircut in that ESPN profile picture. Woo, shit is fucking sick. He looks like a
What does he
fucking
look like?
dirtbag. It's awesome. He looks like a hockey
Oh
player,
my
dude.
god. Dang, he looks like he's from my
Yeah,
hometown.
enlighten yourselves and go look at that, guys. That's a sight to see right there. Blaine Gabbert.
Dang, 10th pick in the draft?
Oh yeah, he was hyped. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah. Big
Wow.
hype behind Blaine Gabbert.
Oh, they drafted him to replace oh my god, Gerard? Was that the quarterback before Gabbert
I think so.
in Jacksonville?
I think so. And then they
Damn.
drafted Blake Bortles after Blaine Gabbert. Like
Yeah,
only a
another
couple
great
years after.
quarterback.
It didn't take long.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So yeah, Blaine Gabbert's gonna win this game. Easton Stick sucks.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Chiefs. They still have weapons, so I'm gonna give them 21 still. 21-17. Chiefs.
I'm gonna go real low. I'm gonna go Chiefs 14, Chargers 3.
Damn.
Yeah. The Chargers suck. All right. Back out to the NFC West. The Rams versus the 49ers. I believe both these teams are already in. I think the Rams could change up their seeding with a win. I don't know what the 49ers are doing. They're obviously clinched all the way at the top. So I would assume we're going to see a bunch of nobodies out there. I got a feeling it's going to be like Sam Darnold giving the ball to Elijah Mitchell, Jordan Mason, throwing the ball to Juwan Jennings and Ronnie Bell. That's the 49ers we're going to get. And they might beat the Rams.
I don't know. They could.
They could. The Rams, at least one player on that team has something to play for. That's Puka Nacua. He needs 28 yards to break the rookie receiving yards record for the most in a rookie year. He's had one hell of a year. 101 receptions, 1,445 yards, and 5 touchdowns. And he's not going to be the rookie of the year.
Wait, rookie receiving yards just in general? Like in NFL history?
Yeah, in a season, yeah. In a rookie
Damn,
year.
Puka Nacua.
He started off pretty
That's
hot,
ridiculous.
so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, he did. I mean, that was pretty ridiculous. So
Yeah.
he has way more than Jordan Addison, is what that means.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just felt like Addison was a little bit more consistent, but maybe that's not even that right.
Yeah, not really, because the first couple of weeks he did nothing.
Yeah.
So
That is
Jordan
true.
Addison, oh, it just pulled up the most random. Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison does not have 1,000 yards.
Does he have more touchdowns than Puka?
I think so. Yeah, Puka does not really ever score touchdowns. But, you know, a couple of catches, maybe one catch on Sunday could get Puka that record. So he'll be playing for that. San Fran still opening up as a favorite, for a 4-point favorite, even though we're not going to see Stafford most likely, unless Stafford might play until Puka gets the record, and then they'll both leave the game. That could definitely happen. I could certainly see that. We could see Carson Wentz this week. That would be interesting, for sure. Last thing I ever expected to see in 2023, well, I guess now 2024, is Carson Wentz taking the field, especially in a Rams jersey.
Yeah, that's going to be bizarre. I kind of hope it happens, though.
I do, too. I wouldn't hate it.
Well, listen, I'm getting a score prediction here. I'm probably still going to take the 49ers over the Rams, cuz I mean, if I'm the Rams personally, I would play for seeding. I think seeding is kind of everything once it comes to playoff time. So I would still play all the starters the full time. But if that's not the case, still going to take the Niners 20-10 49ers.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to just take the Rams. Fuck it. I'm going to take the Rams 24-21. I just don't think the 49ers are really going to go out there and try.
Yeah, I mean, probably not.
Yep. All
Probably
right.
not.
Our second to last game of the week, Cowboys, Commanders. Cowboys 13-point favorite over the Commanders, but they do have their struggles on the road.
Jesus Christ.
Dallas just needs the win to clinch the division, and they could also tie, and Philly ties, and they'd get the division, or Philly loses, and the Cowboys get the division. So, Cowboys should just go
It,
out, create their own destiny here and win this game. I definitely think they will, with how bad the Commanders have struggled in these recent weeks. I want to ask you a little bit about Sam Howell and Jacoby Brissett.
uh-oh.
Okay, with this, they bench Howell last week. Jacoby gets hurt. Howell comes back in. I think the organization is starting to turn on Sam Howell. Do you think that's the right reaction?
Uh, no. No, I don't.
Okay.
Because yeah, I mean, we've talked about games like it's crazy that the Commanders are all the way back to 4-12 because I mean, there were games where I was really really high on them and I kind of felt like you were too, where we were seeing an offense from the Commanders when it was working that we have never seen before.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a lot of factors that affect how Sam Howell is. Like I personally I like Ron Rivera as a head coach. Can he really get it done anymore? Probably not. Um, they have other weapons on this team. I would rock with Sam Howell. We saw a lot of good things out of Sam Howell,
Yeah.
and
I
he
think,
also was getting hit all the time. No offensive line.
yeah, that's true for sure. My biggest thing against Sam Howell is like, you look at the wins, 4 wins this season for Sam. They come against the Cardinals, the Broncos, who the next week gave up 70 points, um, the Falcons, which don't want to get into that, and then the Patriots. And then they lost 7 straight. I think it was a deserving bench. Do I think he's just not the guy? Like, simple as that? No. I think he's definitely got upside. This is his first year starting, his second year in the NFL. Like, the guy needs time. I think everybody kind of
Yeah.
knew that coming into it with Sam Howell, was that he needs time. He's going to have to go through some tough times, but like, I'm already seeing mock drafts and they're like, yeah, the Commanders are drafting Drake May.
Mm.
Which, that would be so dirty. Replace UNC's last quarterback with their new quarterback.
Damn.
Insane. Um,
Yeah.
but it
Uh,
could happen. I don't think it should. It could happen. Um, but this week, I think we'll see Sam Howell. And of course, we'll see the starters for the Cowboys because they need to win the game. So, man, I'm going to go a pretty big score here for the Cowboys. I'm going to go Cowboys 35, Commanders 14.
yeah. God, it's just such a cowboy thing to do to lose to the Bills and
That's
the
true.
Dolphins while the Eagles are also losing.
Yeah.
I mean, like you were handed the division basically, like, and just still wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. In that case, maybe this game gets funky for Dallas, but
Yeah,
also at the same
Dallas
time,
Dallas and Philly both lose and Dallas still wins the division.
yeah, yeah. I think I'm obviously gonna go with Dallas. I think that's the right pick here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 28-10 Dallas.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think it would be it'll be an interesting game. But okay, look, I don't want to count my eggs before they hatch. You made fun of me for picking the Cowboys to win this division. So fuck you. I have to get that out. I think once the season is like well over, I'd like to go through each of our predictions, and we'll come to the show and go through our best and worst predictions. I think,
I already can think of some really bad ones
yeah,
that I've made.
that'll be a fun time for sure.
uh, a freezing cold take, you
Yeah.
might say.
Hey, we were high on the Texans,
Yeah,
so that's a good
that
start.
is true.
But
I was high on Daniel Jones too, and the
yeah,
Giants.
me too.
So
So let's go on to the final game of Week 18, the final game of the 2023-2024 regular season, and it's a doozy. Sunday Night Football, Bills, Dolphins for the division. Buffalo wins, they win the division. Miami wins, they win the division. Or if Miami and Buffalo tie, which once again has not happened once this season, no ties this year, which is kind of crazy. Considering I think last year
it
we
is
got
crazy.
2 week 1. Um,
Yeah.
but Buffalo can clinch a playoff berth if they tie, and if Pittsburgh loses or ties. If Jacksonville loses or ties, or if Houston and Indy tie. A lot of ways the guys can get in. The best way would be to win and win your division, get the 2 seed in the playoffs, which would be crazy. Um, and then move on. Right now, Buffalo opening up a 3-point favorite. Tyreek Hill's house caught on fire this week. It was because of a child playing with a lighter. That's not good.
Ooh,
Pulled
yeah,
him out of
can't do that.
practice on Wednesday. Luckily, everybody's okay. There's a big hole in Tyreek Hill's roof. I saw the pictures. So that's pretty scary. He got pulled out of practice because his house was on fire. That's certainly got to
Yeah.
spook you a little bit. But he's going to play this week for sure. Man, this is tough. Uh, the Dolphins are so hard to get a read on because, like, very good at home. They quote unquote broke the trend of not beating above 500 teams. Then again, the Cowboys are just abysmal on the road. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so man, I don't know. I like the Bills personally, but I think the Dolphins are certainly gonna be. It's gonna be a close game for sure.
Oh yeah. But I also could see the Bills running away with it though.
Yeah,
I do not like Miami against really hot, decent teams.
yeah,
There's just no reason to pick them. And I mean, you were right all season long. They have beat the brakes off of teams that are bad, and they've lost to really good teams. It just so
yeah,
happened that they played more bad teams than they played good teams, which sits them at 11-5. But I don't know. I think it really is just written in the stars, in my opinion, that the Bills are going to win this game. I do not think Miami's going to win, but I hope it's the other way around for the Steelers' hopes,
yeah.
of course.
Like, look, the Dolphins are gonna play good offense for sure. They've put up 30 plus 7 times. They lead the NFL in passing yards and points for this season. They're obviously going to play, and they're fifth in rushing yards. Like, this is an offense-driven team. The losses
Yep.
on their defense have been the worst possible, honestly. Like, outside of Jalen Ramsey, you lose Jalen Phillips a couple weeks ago, Achilles. You lose Bradley Chubb last week, ACL. Those
That was
are
bad.
those are bad losses to that defense. Those are integral pieces of this team that are now out. They're not only going to miss this game, they're going to miss the playoffs. I just think that gives the Bills the ability to just kind of do what they'd like here. And they like to give the ball to James Cook, and they like to throw the deep ball. The deep ball, probably not going to work. Stephon Diggs sucks. Jalen Ramsey's going to be guarding him. Deep ball's not going to work. James Cook's going to run this ball. It's going to be a little bit lower scoring than maybe most would anticipate in my mind because of that. But I think the Bills get the win. They control the clock, and the Bills win 24-20.
I'm going to go 26-24
Okay.
Buffalo.
Wow. So you saying like a missed extra point to get to 26? Or are you saying
I
like
no, I'm saying a lot of
three
field
field
goals.
goals?
Yeah,
Okay. Or no, 4 field goals. That'd be 2 touchdowns, 4 field goals.
yes.
Okay. Hey, I like that.
That's what
I'm
I'm going
down for
for.
some field
Yep.
goals. All right. That's week 18. um there's not
Well,
really much
honestly,
to
a
talk
lot
about
of
with the
really, really, really bad matchups
Yeah, a lot of shitty
for Week
matchups.
18.
Yeah. But then again, like it's always like that. Like there's always it's like this team's playing for something, this team's not. Neither of these teams are playing for something, or both of these teams already got into the playoffs. Like that's gonna happen just about every matchup. Like you're not gonna be so lucky to get, a Texans Colts for every single matchup here. Or
Yeah,
or a
I
Falcons
think
Saints.
with they should just rework the whole schedule for the NFC South. So the Panthers don't play. We're just gonna cut their season short.
Okay.
No more game week 18 for the
Yeah.
Panthers.
Their bye is week 18.
The Yeah, which would mean that the Buccaneers are left out. So the Saints and the Falcons are gonna play, and then the
Yep.
Buccaneers will just play the team right after.
I like that. Yeah, like a game
Yeah.
163.
Yes.
I'm
Exactly.
game. I'm down. Yeah, fuck tie breaks. Teams have to play for
Yeah.
their seeding. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. But what I like even more than that is that it's time to talk about catchers. So our top 5
Ooh,
lists continue. It is time for our top 5 catchers of 2023. And
let's
look,
do it.
I know baseball is kind of a dead topic right now,
No, it's
but
not.
obviously things have happened. Like me and Colin talked about the Chris Sale trade, all sorts of stuff is going down, but it all heats up in about a couple of weeks. Spring training starts going into full effect. It's going to be one hell of a time. So for now, we're going to talk about last year, and it's just going to set us up for next year. And next year is going to be real exciting. So, who's going first at number 5? Also, must play
I
60
got it.
games was the rule. 60 games at catcher, just because some guys, platoon. So we lowered the scale.
Yeah. Like I took Isaiah Kiner Falefa at number 5. I'm just kidding. Didn't take IKF.
He definitely
Jonah
didn't play
Heim.
60
Uh
games.
I went with Jonah Heim,
I like
number
it.
5. Obviously catcher for the Rangers. Didn't have the best second half of the season, but look, still a Gold Glover, still an All-Star, still led all catchers with 95 RBI, which I feel like
Yeah,
for catchers that's a pretty decent amount of
very
offensive
much.
production. Um, yeah, and I mean he was just solid. His first half of the year was insane, ridiculous, even offensively as well. So yeah, I went with Jonah Heim, number 5.
Okay. Yeah, I went with Will
Hmm.
Smith of the Los Angeles Dodgers at number 5. For me, he's always been just a model of consistency for a catcher. So he's going to be, a perennial top 5 guy. I just never really see him as like top 1, top 2 kind of guy at catching. Like
Yeah,
he doesn't play the best defense. He, out of the 5 guys on my list, he's second worst at defense, and out of the guys on my list, he's third in offense. Like that's just how it goes for Will Smith. He's gonna be one of the best at both. He's never the best at either. I think that hurts him in my mind, but he still had a great year nonetheless. 261 batting average, 359 on base, 438 slugging, um, WAR of 4.4, right there, middle of the pack of my list, of course. Um, didn't hit for the numbers that I anticipated this year. Really just didn't play as many games as I anticipated. 126 for him seems kind of low. I think he got injured at a certain point in the season, but I'd love to see a hell of a lot more RBIs and a hell of a lot more home runs from him. 19 home runs just does not seem like enough for him. So it was definitely a down year, at least power and numbers wise, but overall, still the model of consistency. So that's why I came in at 5.
yeah. Will Smith is actually never mind. He is not my number 4 because I wrote my list weird. My number 4 is actually going to be Mr. Sean Murphy. Um, I mean, 21 home runs for a catcher is very, very decent. 3.9 WAR, OPS plus of I think 122 is
Yeah,
what I have written down. Had a lot of extra base hits as well with 42. I, I mean, what is there more to say? Sean Murphy was just really, really, really good for this Atlanta team. His was it his first season
yeah,
in Atlanta? That's right. Yeah, and I mean, I feel like If you're a really good player for one team, it may not always work out moving across the other side of the entire country, but he, moved to a way better team. He was able to keep it up and maybe even improve on some things. So, Sean Murphy, it was my number 4.
Yeah. Sean would have definitely come in higher for me. He also came in at 4. But a couple of things kind of held him back. First of all, the offense dropped off so bad after that All-Star game. He made the All-Star game, was the for sure guy. He was an MVP candidate in the first half of the season, and then it just fell off a cliff. And the strikeouts were the worst part of it. A 22.4% strikeout percentage. He's one of 2 guys on my list with a 20-plus strikeout percentage. He's the highest of the list. He's 4th in Fangraph's offensive rating, but the guy plays some stellar defense. That's what holds him up for me, was the defense. And, of course, he played the least amount of games. He got injured for a short stint, and I think in August and into September. But also, you're splitting time at the catcher position with Travis d'Arnaud, and that kind of hurts him as well. But overall, I think he had a great year. I'm super excited for what is in store for Sean Murphy for the years to come because he's a young player. Um, he only came up within the last couple of years, and he's been great. He's always had the defense, and it was certainly there this year. Um, just gotta continue consistency throughout a full season for Sean Murphy's offense, and he could probably see himself at 1 or 2 next year.
Yeah, no, I like that. My number 3 was Will Smith, but I don't know. Kind of hearing you talk and looking closer at my notes, I probably could have swapped Will Smith and Sean Murphy, but I didn't. So Will Smith is my number 3. Actually, his first All Star selection was this year, which is
Yeah,
kind of crazy. I can't really believe that. I mean, like you said, he's been consistent pretty much his whole career. He's only been in the league for what, like 5 years. He's
I think so.
28 years old. Um, but I mean, yeah, I don't have much for Will Smith, except he had a 4.1 WAR, which finished, I think, second out of all the catchers on my list. He had a higher WAR than Sean Murphy, and the same amount of extra base hits. But yeah, I mean, kind of like echoing what you said, Will Smith can do it all. He is, average and consistent
Yeah,
offensively and average and consistently defensively. He's just a solid catcher who unfortunately plays on the wrong team.
correct. I definitely agree with that.
Dude, after Yamamoto, I might give up. I may.
What do you mean, dude? You have Carlos Rodon.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You keep forgetting.
I have kept forgetting about
Yeah,
Carlos Rodon.
it's probably a good idea. But
He's
mine,
really good. He might be better in the minor leagues.
he might be. He might be. Better hope he's not on those flight logs with how good he is at the minors. That was a bad joke. That was a really bad joke. I apologize to everybody.
Carlos
Um,
Rodon and Stephen Hawking on Epstein Island.
yeah, we're not getting into the flight logs, that's for sure.
No, no.
Um, but let's get into the next person on my list, which is Jonah Heim, the number 3. My
Dang.
top 3 are they're such young catchers. It's crazy. But we have like a new age of catching talent in the MLB right
They
now,
really
and
do.
Jonah Heim is the leader defensively. His defense is second to none. He was the best defensive catcher in the MLB this season. Obviously, he could have been higher, but the offense really pulled him back. Doesn't really walk is the problem for Jonah Heim in my eyes. But on a team like he played on, he just won a World Series. Maybe he doesn't have to get on base all that much when you've got Marcus Simeon and Corey Seager and Adolis Garcia and Josh Young. Literally, I'm just listing off guys that we've either already talked about in this series of top 5 players or we're going to talk about in the future. When those guys are on your team, maybe you don't have to play the best offense. But as a young guy, I think it's his second year in the league. 131 games played is amazing as a catcher, being young to play that many games in a season. He hit 18 homers, had 95 RBIs, which is absurd, like you talked about. Um, just under a 20 strikeout percentage is fantastic, once again, for a young catcher. And batting 258, nothing to scoff at all. It's really just the on base for me and the run production for me that kind of knocks him down a peg from being one of the best, but I think he is by far the best defensive catcher this past season. So he comes in at 3 because my other two guys just kind of balanced it a little better.
Yeah, that's fair. The funny thing about Jonah Heim here though is 2.9 WAR. He is like by far the lowest on my top
Yeah,
5
so
as far as WAR goes.
that's baseball reference WAR, which doesn't factor in defense for catchers.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that
Baseball
would definitely
reference
make sense
doesn't
there for
have
Jonah Heim, especially.
Yeah, Baseball Reference doesn't have catching statistics, and so they don't factor them into WAR. Whereas for Fangraphs, they have an adjusted WAR for catchers. So Jonah Heim still the lowest on my list because of how low his offensive contributions were, but a 4.1 Fangraphs WAR is great. Um, it's just like when you look at, so they have a stat literally called offense and a stat called defense. His offense rating a 2.4, and his defense rating a 22. So that kind of gives you a sense of where he's at on both sides of the ball. But yeah, who's your number 2?
My number 2, I went with William Contreras. I have the same feeling that you also have him as well. Um, which is crazy because he was also a part of the Milwaukee Brewers trade that ended up, Sean Murphy to Atlanta, and then basically, it blows my NFL
Yeah.
mind away, the 3-team trades. But yeah, and like you said, another young guy, 25 years
Yeah.
old. Wilson Contreras was a Gold Glove finalist. He ranked 4th in overall defensive value. Yeah, it is actually kind of crazy the youth and talent, blend and catcher is
Yeah.
just it's ridiculous, and it's so much fun. 126 OPS plus. Yeah, he was solid. 3.7 WAR, and honestly, like really similar stats to Jonah Heim offensively. It just William Contreras was able to do it consistently throughout a season. Jonah Heim pretty much did all of his in the first like 70 games of the season. So
Yeah. Um,
yeah.
I actually don't have William at 2. I have Adley Rutschman at 2. Yeah. Look,
Oh.
the thing to me is they they contributed pretty similarly offensively. Um, but Adley's contributions were more important, I'd say, just because of the team he was playing on. He got way more of the shine because of the team he was playing on. He simply didn't play as good of defense as William Contreras. And catcher is the position where 10 times out of 10, if you play almost as good of offense, but you play better defense, you're the better player, in my eyes.
Yeah,
Like
that is fair.
catcher
That's
is
fair.
the position to be a defensive specialist. Like if we were making this list in 2018, Yadier Molina would still be making the list despite he probably hit about 210. Yadier Molina would still make the
Yeah.
list. Like this is like that's why Jonah Heim's here over guys like JT Realmuto who had a stinker. Like a lot of
Yeah.
catchers could have made this list. Jonah Heim made it over them because of defense. William Contreras is
That is
ahead of
fair.
Adley Rutschman because of defense on my list. Not to take away from Adley at all. 13.4% walk percentage for a catcher is utterly ridiculous. He had a 374 on base percentage. If you're a catcher and you're approaching a 400 on base percentage, nobody can stop you offensively. Like that is ridiculous offensive production out of a catcher. And to go and play pretty good defense, the worst of my 5, according to Fangraph's defensive statistic, but still be one of the best offensive catchers. He was the best on my list. He had to come in at 1 or 2. I prioritize the big gap in defense between him and William, and that put him at 2 for me.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I took Adley Rutschman at 1 just because I thought the offense was just so. I don't know. I thought the offense was just that crazy, and with him, being a young guy with all the hype around him and not wavering at all, I took Adley. He 52 extra base hits is just ridiculous. Like, why are you able to get around bases that fast? You're only a catcher. 4.3 WAR. He was the highest on this list. 128 OPS plus. I mean, he just did everything. Played 154 games. I mean, what's that? He only missed 5? No, 7,
7. No,
6,
8.
7,
8.
7, 8.
8. They play 162.
Second and short does math.
Yes.
Yes. But yeah, only
You kept
12th in
saying numbers and
AL
it was
MVP
throwing me
voting.
off. I'm sorry.
Yeah, my bad, my bad. That was my fault. Only 12th in AL MVP voting though, which I
Yeah.
thought was kind of crazy. Like his team was even, they made it to the playoffs and everything. But
Yeah.
yeah, Adley was just unbelievable. He was my number one.
Okay. Yeah, for me, William got number 1, like I already kind of said, because of how good his defense was, especially look, I've watched William Contreras play his entire career at this point. His first couple years with the Braves was not a defensive catcher at all. Bad pop time, really bad at framing. This season, he was easily one of the best defensive catchers by every single metric, one of the best framers, one of the best blockers, one of the best pop times. He was actually ridiculous. And Fangraphs, the F WAR, he had the highest WAR of any catcher at 5.4. Adley came in at a 5.1. And William Contreras, when you look at his numbers and you stack them up against Adley, if you look at the counting numbers, Adley played 13 more games and had 3 more home runs. William had 2 more runs scored. Adley had 2 more RBIs. William 5 more stolen bases, which I don't really care about the stolen bases. But when you come down to the percentages, walk percentage at 10.3, still amazing for a catcher. The strikeout percentage at 20.6 is not great, but he was still getting on base, second best of my list, only behind Adley. A 367 on base percentage, but a 389 batting average, a 457 slugging, which is fantastic, and a WRC plus of 124 was amazing. But the big number for me, 17.9 defense, which is fielding and positional adjustment combined above average. I know nobody knows what I just said. I barely know what that means. But William Contreras did a fantastic job this season, and the turnaround that I've seen in his defense since he got to Milwaukee is nothing short of amazing. So yeah, another guy out of the Milwaukee Brewers catching factory is William Contreras.
All right. And do we want to recap our list and maybe give some honorable mentions? We used to do that for the NFL top tens. I think
Yeah, I
we'd go
know.
through and say our
Yeah,
top
we'll
10
talk
again.
some
I feel like we
honorable
should do that.
mentions. Obviously, JT Realmuto is an honorable mention. He just simply
I,
was
I'm
not one
seeing
of the
this
best.
Cal Riley
Yes, Cal
guy
Raleigh
a
was
lot on all
awesome.
my list. Yeah,
Cal
like
Raleigh was
he
awesome.
hit 30 home runs.
Power hitter for sure.
Yeah, he was hitting fourth or fifth, which is crazy in
Yeah.
Seattle Mariners lineup as a catcher. He ranked second in the majors with just almost like 100 less innings than JT Realmuto, but Realmuto had by far the first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Ryan Jeffers of the Twins was very good this season. Got to give him his flowers.
for sure.
Williams' brother Wilson Contreras wasn't bad. Definitely not his best season for sure. In past years, he would have made this list. It's not quite what I was looking for this season from him.
Did you say Gabriel Moreno?
I did not, but that is a good poll. Yeah.
Yeah, Gabriel Moreno was a good one.
I'm trying to think of.
God, Moreno's only 23 too.
Yeah, he is very young.
Jesus.
I'm trying to think of anybody else. I don't think I can think of any other catchers that really stood out to me this season. Yeah, I don't really have one on the top of my mind.
Mm-mm.
And shout out
Gary
Brian
Sanchez.
McCann. We both just picked my guy might have retired like 5 years ago, but shout out Brian McCann.
Oh man. That was funny.
All right, are we going left field next?
Yeah, we can go left field.
Okay, left field it is next week. Left fielders. It's gonna be so hard to do like the research for it because like what I've been doing is like I go to the all MLB candidates and then I just kind of narrow it down from there of like who I like, who I don't, maybe look at a couple other
Yeah.
guys. But for the all MLB team, they just did outfield. So,
Ooh.
yeah. That's a problem.
That
Um,
is a problem.
it'll be fine. Honestly, actually, we could just do a list of top 10 outfielders next week.
I don't know. I like breaking it down because then
Okay.
we get to talk about more guys that probably
Yeah.
wouldn't get talked about
I'm down for
otherwise.
it. I'm down for it. All right. Then we'll do left fielders next week. All right.
Yes. Heard it here first. Left field.
It is time for some transfer news. Very good
I'm
timing here.
excited about this.
About an hour and a half into the show, it's time for some soccer. Um, look, I have not really been in the loop for transfer news throughout the season, and like all the games have been played. Now I've done some research. It's been about an hour or two going through everything today, so I feel well informed. So we'll start with this. Hugo Lloris is going to LAFC. What a fall from grace for Hugo. Like, he was Spurs keeper for almost probably just about as long as I've been watching soccer. He was the keeper for Spurs.
Yeah.
And he just fell off of a cliff. And I think a lot of it is to do with age, for sure. But this was a surprising move to me. I thought he still had some, at least enough to be staying in Europe.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about Spurs too. He's also a World Cup winner.
Yeah.
France as well. Yeah, definitely one of the better goalies of our lifetime. I would even go like, and you definitely were a part of like this kind of like FIFA era
Yeah,
too. But like
definitely.
most people, I would say like Ederson, Allison, Ter Stegen, Neuer, Lloris might be better than all of those guys I just mentioned.
I don't know about Neuer.
Maybe not Neuer. That was definitely a stretch, but the other guys probably, as far as
Yeah.
accolades,
Because, like, for
definitely.
me, like, I started watching soccer when I started playing FIFA, which was, like, FIFA 14.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, I got some respect for Iker Casillas being one of those
Oh,
guys
for
up there.
sure.
Hugo Lloris,
Yeah,
Manuel Neuer, David De Gea certainly gets my respect. But
yeah.
when you look at like the new age guys, for sure, Lloris gets looked over when you're talking about like Ter Stegen's been around for quite a while, but he really burst onto the scene in like 2018 because Claudio Bravo kind of held down that keeper spot for Barcelona as well as Victor
Yeah.
Valdez. Um,
Shout out.
and I think when you're looking at the new age guys, of course, Allison comes up in the conversation. Ederson comes up in the conversation. Even like a Jan Oblak comes up in the conversation. He's been
Oh, for sure.
outstanding for Atletico Madrid. Donnarumma comes up, which I think Donnarumma's a little bit of a bust.
Yeah, probably.
I think
Probably a little bit of one.
saying that he was going to be the next Gianluigi Buffon was absurd.
Yeah. Well, he didn't hurt it, help himself by leaving Syria
Yeah, and
either.
going
That
to
was pretty
PSG
bad.
of all places.
Yeah.
What an
A
idiot.
team that does not know how to take care of their
Yeah.
players. But yeah, Hugo Lloris to LAFC. I think it's overall a really great move for LAFC. I mean,
Yeah.
they're already one of the top teams in the MLS. They just seem to keep adding talent to them, to themselves. So, um, it'll be good for the league too. I
Yeah.
think.
I agree. It's nice to have
Yep.
good players coming in. But our next thing, Bayern Munich, once again, they're right back at it. Soon as January transfer window opens, they're right back at who they were looking at right before the transfer window closed in the summer, which is Fulham defensive mid Yao Polina. And they said they're not going to spend more than 60 million on him, though.
Mm,
Yao Polina's fantastic. Very good defensive
yeah.
midfielder, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if 60 million is the right price. It might.
You think
They
less or
might.
more?
They might have to go higher.
Oh gosh.
I
Ooh.
once again, I don't know, but I feel like they should have to go higher.
Yeah, don't they also want Calvin Phillips too? I think
I've
I've heard
heard
his
about
name
I've
with
heard
Bayern.
yeah, I've heard about him with Bayern. I think Bayern's just in the market for a defensive midfielder. Obviously, they gave up Ryan Gravenberch to Liverpool, so that obviously was the reason for looking for guys, but I don't think Calvin Phillips is the guy there.
Nah, I don't think
I've been
so
hearing a
either. But
lot
I,
about
I
him making
like,
a move within England.
yeah, I've
I
heard that as
I don't
well.
hate Yao Polina going to Bayern. I think it would be a good fit. Um, Super physical, strong defensive midfielder, but maybe not your traditional Premier League defensive midfielder. When you look at like the guys that dominate it right now, being like Rodri, um, Casemiro, like the top level defensive midfielders in the Prem, probably don't quite play it like Yao Polina does.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it could be a good move. I like it.
Yeah, he has a long ass name.
I'm a
I
fan.
just looked at it. I'm
His
gonna give it
full
a shot.
name?
Yeah, Yao Maria Lobo Alves Paleras Costa Polina Gonzalez.
Damn.
Long ass name. Don't blame him for going by Yao Polina.
Yeah.
All right. Well, our next thing is that I was originally this said that PSG's top target in January is Bruno Guimaraes. Now I'm seeing things. I told Luke before the podcast about this. I'm seeing some conflicting reports. Now I'm seeing they're not targeting him this January, which doesn't cancel out the idea of them targeting him in the summer. All I know is that I do not want Bruno Guimaraes to leave Newcastle ever.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
That's the guy, man.
Yeah,
Do
I love him.
you have his jersey?
I ordered one, and then it never showed up, and then I just randomly had a refund on my bank account.
Damn.
So,
I don't
um,
know. That doesn't sound good for him staying then.
well, it was from some like random place because Newcastle always sold out of jerseys. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know why that's such a big issue because I've looked at like I go to the actual team's shop and they're always sold out online. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah, sorry, I just read something. What does a windfall mean?
What do you mean?
I'm reading here Newcastle set for windfall if Arsenal sign Ivan Toney. What does that mean though?
I would assume that
You know what
means
that
we would
means?
drop quickly.
Oh no, it's a windfall profit.
What does that mean?
A windfall gain is an unusually high or abundant income that is sudden and or unexpected.
Oh, because what I'm
So
seeing is windfall being an apple or another fruit blown down by a tree or blown down from a tree by the wind, meaning a windfall would quickly make them fall out of nowhere.
that's weird, but I don't know. Sky Sports is saying that Newcastle and Peterborough are set for huge windfalls if Arsenal sign Ivan Toney.
Don't know what that means. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't
Looks like
is that really going to affect it? Like, why does it matter? Are we like?
I
I
have no
haven't seen
idea.
a single thing about us being interested in even Tony.
Unless y'all somehow would get a profit off of him being sold
I
to
don't think so.
somewhere. I don't get it either.
No clue.
Yeah, no, and I'm also reading Guimaraes to Barcelona
Fantastic.
as well.
That's the last thing I needed to fucking hear right now. They got
Yeah.
Gundogan. They're fine. They don't need any more midfielders from the Prem.
No, they do not.
They need a striker because Lewandowski is old.
Yeah, Lewandowski is honestly not really producing
No, he
anymore.
is not. Um,
Uh,
Back to what we were talking about. It looks like I'm gonna go ahead and just believe that they're not going after him this January. Just for my sake. I think it would be a
yeah.
fantastic move because I think Bruno is a fantastic, probably like a budding, I'd say budding world class. He's getting close to being like a
No,
world
I
class
would give
level
him world
center mid.
class.
Okay, Cool.
I would give it to him.
I like that.
Yeah, no, I think he's definitely there. It's just he plays for a kind of like a new Newcastle aren't a
An
new team,
emerging
but I think
club.
the only reason yes,
Yeah.
an emerging club. That's why he's not considered world class, but I think he's definitely world class talent.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope he doesn't leave. That's where I'll leave it. And then I got some news for Chelsea. Chelsea holding out
Ooh.
for a £30 million fee, for Ian Matson to make a move to Dortmund.
Ooh, yeah, I don't really mind selling him off.
Okay.
He's very good. I just don't think he fits with kind of what we're doing.
Yeah.
Um, I'm reading some Chelsea news here. Dang, there's a lot of Chelsea news.
Not surprised.
Tony and Osimhen are the striker shortlist.
Makes sense.
It looks like potentially Antonio Silva too. We're looking to hijack him from Manchester
Hmm.
United.
That's an
Um,
interesting one.
yep. Dortmund make the Matson approach. Roma are inquiring about Trevor Chalobah, and so are Palace.
Palace is inquiring about everyone,
Uh,
so don't be worried.
yeah. Leon are eyeing for Badiashile loan, and then it's
I
some
can't,
more news about some players that I actually don't
I'm
know.
gonna be honest. I don't think you should let Bade Shile go anywhere right now.
I don't think we should either.
Yeah, I think he should be starting.
Dude, did
Pretty
you see how
consistently.
mad Thiago Silva was after that Luton Town
Oh
win?
my god. Yeah.
Bro, he was furious that they almost came back. I love
Yeah.
that energy.
Yeah. Thiago Silva's
Oh
been
man.
uh what's the term?
Wavering?
Yes, that is a fantastic word for what I was thinking. Yes, wavering
Yeah.
is definitely the word. Um,
Yeah. I mean,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say like Chelsea love him, but
Yeah.
I think we're starting to see frustration
Yeah.
out of this guy. So I don't know what's going on there.
I think it's just a matter of like times catching up to him. Finally. Took long enough.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously.
All right. I don't know why, but Arsenal is linked to every striker on the market right now. This time, Dusan Vlahovic.
I'm Sky Sports is saying never mind. That's Liverpool wanting
Oh,
Mbappe. Uh Volovic, really?
yeah.
Damn. Yeah, I've heard I think I sent you something about Delit too,
Yeah, I
wanting
definitely
to sign for Arsenal.
yeah.
And Ramsdale, I'm reading that they have no plans for him to leave. I think he's going to leave, and Arsenal are also looking at Ivan Toney apparently as well.
Yeah. I would like I remember hearing the rumor, I would like it to happen for Ramsdale to go to Newcastle.
You would want Ramsdale over De Gea?
I I'd probably just take De Gea. It's pretty obvious what he can do. Um,
Yeah.
Ramsdale at least like could hang out for a little while. Him and Pope together. It's just with Pope being out till April, like we need help right now at goalie.
Yeah,
Like Dubravka's
that
okay,
is fair.
he's not great, and the day that Kairos starts, it's the day that I don't watch a game. As long as
You
it's a
don't like
Prem
that guy,
game.
huh?
No, I do not. Simply
Yeah,
not good
I
enough.
mean that's fair. That's fair.
I haven't liked him since he was at
Arsenal are
Liverpool,
all
so
yeah, I mean that's fair. Arsenal are also looking at Fulham's Polina
yeah, not surprised. But I'm kind
as
of
well.
surprised that Arsenal's so in on strikers right now.
Yeah, me too.
Like I feel like
Me
Gabriel
too.
Jesus is just fine, and it's not like they're gonna position change him because Martinelli and Saka have left and right locked up. So Gabriel Jesus' only option is striker. Unless I guess he's played Cam in the past. Like when he was at Man City, he played a little bit of Cam and it worked, but they also have a loaded midfield.
Or would he just be their backup striker? Who is Arsenal's
Just
backup striker if it's not one
Eddie
of the wingers going to
Nketiah,
fill it in? Oh, that's
who we're
right.
going to talk about in a
Yeah.
minute as well.
Uh-oh.
Some
Probably going to
interest.
Palace.
You might be right.
I'm just saying. I mean, Palace seem to be linked with
Okay,
everybody.
well then I guess we'll just
Seems like
talk
a
about it.
Crystal
Yeah,
Palace player.
Arsenal getting a lot of
Yeah,
interest
let's
for
do it.
Eddie Nketiah, and Crystal Palace wants him. It's on my notes. He fits the mold. What can I say?
Uh,
Um,
don't. No, we're not gonna go there.
but Arsenal will not let him
Uh,
go unless they can get a replacement in. Um, but the thing is like Dusan Vlahovic is not just a replacement for Eddie Nketiah. Like he just replaces Gabriel Jesus.
yeah, he's the new striker.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, how do you feel about Arsenal trying to do that? I personally, I love Nketiah to Palace. I think that's a
I
great
do too.
move for
I do
both
too. I
teams.
think they should let him go because he deserves to play. Obviously he had
Yes,
like that insane match earlier in the season. I don't remember who it was against. I think he had a hat trick or something, and it was a fantastic performance while Jesus was still out. And then
I think I remember that.
like he kept playing, and it just wasn't quite good enough for a few weeks. I think he just needs to be aware that he is the regular starter at striker. He needs to regularly be in the lineup for a team, and I think it would help his confidence a little bit and just help his overall performances. Um,
Yep.
so I would love for him to get a move out. I think Crystal Palace certainly works because they just always do so well with young players, especially young English players, play really well for Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I almost always or West Ham. He could go
Yeah,
replace Mikel Antonio. I'd be
definitely.
fine with that too. But
But like I don't hate even Tony going to
Vlahovic,
Arsenal. I don't hate Vlahovic either.
I don't either. No, no. Vlahovic would be maybe OP. Vlahovic on his good day. No one really ever talks about him, but he's ridiculous.
Yeah, and like
Vlahovic is insane.
I'm seeing a price tag as low as 60 million for Vlahovic, which I think is crazy. Considering
Man,
Ivan
how much
Tony's
did
asking
Juventus
price is like
pay?
100.
What? 100 million for even Tony?
Yeah.
No way. From Brentford.
Yeah.
Bro, Brentford shouldn't make that much money.
No. Yeah,
Not
like
off of
literally I
even
have the note
Tony.
here. Ivan Tony is looking for the move to Arsenal, but Arsenal are hesitant considering Brentford's 100 million pound price tag.
Who would actually pay for him for
I don't
that
know.
much? Literally is coming off of a crazy
Yeah, a
suspension
year
as
without
well.
playing.
I don't get that at all. That's absolutely egregious.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe nobody should go for even Tony. If that is their
I think the
asking
idea
price.
is that Brentford wants him there.
I mean, that's what it sounds like, but also, you're Brentford. It's kind of your job to bring up talent and see if you can make a lot of money. That's just
Maybe they
kind of the
want
way
to
it
change that.
works. I don't know, man. But that's insane.
Yeah, definitely insane. Let's move on though. We spent quite a bit of time on that topic. So there is a verbal agreement on Jadon Sancho returning to Dortmund on a loan deal.
Mm. That'd probably be pretty good for him. But
Yeah, I think it's good for
um
all three sides, personally.
yeah, I've heard a lot of people though, they just keep on it's the same thing. Soccer is second to Jadon Sancho now, is what I've heard.
Hmm.
He's been liking to go out a lot
Yeah, a little
and
Jack Grealish.
hadn't been too good. Yeah. Except Jack Grealish can actually perform
That's true. And Jack
sometimes.
Grealish actually gets onto the field.
Yeah.
Jadon Sancho is like just sitting on the bench while like an 18-year-old goes into the game every week.
Yeah. And Anthony just does this
Yeah,
around the
Anthony
touchline.
can
Just
run
spins.
in circles with the ball at his feet and then kick it out of bounds, and it's still not enough to get Jadon Sancho back on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think going on loan and just leaving for a little bit would help him so much. Like I think Manchester United have already kind of figured out like, okay, we fucked up on this one, and
Yeah.
all they're gonna do is he's gonna go on loan. He'll get recalled probably at the end of the season, and they'll sell him off somewhere.
Yep.
I think that's the obvious way this goes because he's not
Yeah,
gonna
that's
play for
fair.
Manchester United probably ever again.
No. No, I think the relationship is completely gone there.
Yeah, agreed. Looks like Sheffield United trying to turn a few things around, going after maybe some really some lower tier talent, but some guys that could certainly help them out. They're pushing for Villarreal striker Ben Brereton Diaz, and they're also trying to get Casper Schmeichel to be keeper.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so
Wow.
he
I've
could
never
have
heard
a
of the first guy, but I know
yeah.
Casper.
I've heard a little bit about him since the transfer window's opened. I don't know much. Let's see. Yeah, he doesn't have a goal this season in La Liga
Yeah, that's
in
good.
14 matches. Why the fuck do they want this guy? He's Chilean. Wait a second. Why does his Wikipedia say he already plays for Sheffield United? Is he already on loan to Sheffield United? Am I dumb?
He is. He is
Fuck.
already on loan to Sheffield
Well,
United.
that's weird. Because like literally on Twitter, like from Fabrizio Romano, it said that they're pushing for him. So I don't know. Maybe he got recalled. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe the deal has already been done and I just missed it. That definitely could be the
Yep.
case.
He's actually from England.
Interesting. He plays for the
Yeah.
Chilean national team.
He's
Yeah.
from a city called Stoke-on-Trent.
Yeah. Their cities are so fucking weird.
God. So glad we don't have to take orders from these
Yeah,
losers.
exactly. Well, like fucking
Oh
Newcastle,
boy.
like where they play is considered Newcastle upon Tyne.
Oh yeah, that's strange.
Yeah, it bothers
And
me.
actually, even more strange, this guy that's Chilean but born in England, he played for England's U19 and U20 team, but whenever he moved up to senior team, he chose Chile.
Uh, Probably because he's not
And he
good
has
enough to
7
play for
goals for
England.
Chile. Probably not.
Okay, well I guess he's already on loan there. Fantastic. Kasper Schmeichel though is a good move. Sheffield has given up I think the most goals this season in the Premier League. So something needs to
Yeah.
happen.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, they have allowed a whopping 49 goals.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that is 8 more than Burnley, who is second to last.
Damn. That's
Jesus.
bad.
That is really bad.
You know what's crazy though is
Then again, I
Luton
think
are
we
not the
scored
worst team in
7
the Prem.
what Newcastle beat them by like 7-0 or something.
Oh, so it's
They
y'all's
lost
fault.
to Burnley 5-0. They lost to Arsenal 5-0. And they lost to Newcastle 8-0.
Damn.
Yeah, hey.
That's 18 goals in 3
Yeah,
games right there.
they fucking suck. You know who's given up 18 goals? Liverpool this whole season.
Wow.
Sheffield did it
Damn.
in 3 games. All right. Yeah, they need a keeper. Kasper Schmeichel. Why not? Zach Steffen leaving Man City and signed a 3-year deal with Colorado Rapids, coming back to America.
Yeah, I don't necessarily mind that.
Yeah, totally fine with that.
I
move.
was
He's gonna
he was
play,
a guy that
which is
I
nice.
yeah, it was cool to see Zach Steffen come to, a Premier League team. But as somebody, who also follows the national team, I wish he was getting more playing time. And it sounds like, well, I mean, who else would play over Zach Steffen at Colorado? I have no idea.
I know
So
nothing.
it'll be nice to see him finally get playing time.
Yeah, there's a reason we don't do the MLS recap. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we one time.
That was a mess.
One time.
Oh my
That
god.
was horrible.
All right, next thing. Tottenham is interested in Conor Gallagher, but are unlikely to make a move because they cannot meet the £60 million demands due to financial fair play restrictions.
It would be such a 2024 Chelsea thing to do. I almost said 2023
Yeah.
to let a guy like Conor Gallagher go.
Set the pace by letting a guy that has really proved himself in this squad this season. Just let him go to Tottenham.
Yeah, no, he's a guy that I never want to sell. I love Conor Gallagher, but he would honestly fit in any other Prem team. He is the quintessential center mid, high work rate, decent offensively, decent defensively that literally any team in the world would want.
Yeah, I
is
definitely
the type
agree.
of player Conor Gallagher is. Yeah.
He's been awesome this year.
Yeah.
Him and Cole Palmer, the two big surprises to me.
Oh man. Cole Palmer, what I mean, like we kind of I think shit on him whenever he first signed.
Definitely.
And he has just been
was
Chelsea's like probably best player.
Yeah, he was just a useless young guy at Man City.
Yeah. And damn. they had a guy there,
Yeah.
and Chelsea are just finally using him.
Yeah, it's awesome. Next thing, Timo Werner is a striker target for Man United this January.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Me neither.
Um,
I think he's kind of his Premier League days are over. I think.
I think I think his time with Chelsea was bad enough.
Yeah.
He'll literally never want to come back to England. There's no way.
No. Then again,
There's no way.
Manchester United needs something. I've heard
Yeah.
Thomas Muller in this conversation as well. I just don't think Thomas Muller is in a position right now at his age to be playing striker in the Premier League.
No, because Thomas Muller would be in a situation, if he came to United where he would have to be the guy, and he's not.
Yeah,
He doesn't need to be the
exactly.
guy. Um, a lot of Manchester United legends, like Roy Keane and Rio Ferdinand, like the guys that are still pundits over there in England. Like I've heard Rio Ferdinand literally thinks that Rasmus Højlund is the guy.
Yeah,
They're just not. They're
he's
not
just
using
not
him.
there yet.
Yeah.
And like they
Yeah.
just, I literally, I just pulled it up on my computer as I was checking to see if we had anything else that I don't have here. Anthony Martial set to sign a contract extension at Manchester United.
Why?
Why? Why? since literally since the day he got there from Monaco, he's maybe done something. Would be to
Yeah.
classify his overarching career at Manchester United. He's done something.
Yeah.
Because I can't say he's done nothing. He's scored some goals and
Yeah.
been in the lineup. But
Yeah.
I guess better than Jadon Sancho.
Like the Derek Carr of soccer.
Yes, there it is. Anthony Martial, Derek Carr. Love that comparison. Actually, that might
Oh
be too
man.
nice to Anthony Martial.
I don't know. Derek Carr's a fucking fuck
Is
up
there a
though.
guy that's like in his career, he's always been there, but he was never that good. But like he's really never had that big season. Because like Derek Carr's had some good seasons.
Jameis Winston?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think
A
James
little bit better.
Winston might be pretty fitting. Maybe even Marcus Mariota. Both of them. Pretty
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah. Or
They've gotten their
Mariota.
chances. Never really worked out. Had a couple of
Yeah.
runs. Marcus Mariota went to the playoffs. Jameis had that one
Yeah.
good season. All right. Next thing though, Rafael Varane is getting interest from Saudi Arabia. What a surprise! Al Ittihad
Mm.
and Al Nasser. So the two
Uh,
big monies.
I'd probably Al Nassar or for him be just because Laporte or Laporte, however you say his name, is the other center back there.
Yeah.
Might as well go play with your
Well,
teammate
if
that
he
you
went
won the
to
World
Al
Cup with.
Ittihad, he could play with Koulibaly and Karim Benzema.
That is true.
So he'd have
But
two French teammates and N'Golo Kante. Three
that is
French
true. I forgot about
teammates.
N'Golo Kante. Or you go play with Al Nassar and play with the guy who scored the most goals in 2023.
That's true. Yeah, Sadio Mane. Anderson
Oh
Talisca.
man.
Duh.
Bro, I've been on this weird train, Grayson, where I have seen so much Cristiano Ronaldo, like highlights from like his games yesterday. Like I
Yeah.
am keeping up with his career still. I'm sorry, but I think he's actually still ridiculous.
Yeah, it's great.
But no, like I think it's on a different level though. Like Ronaldo is aging so much better than Messi, in my opinion.
I think Messi doesn't
I, I
care as
r-
much as Ronaldo.
that is probably safe
I think the MLS is
to say.
simply less competitive place to play than Saudi Arabia, despite the fact that
Yeah.
4 Saudi Arabian teams have money and everybody else has nothing.
It honestly just kind of feels like Messi has just been on a really long vacation to Miami.
Yeah. Well, and also he hasn't like
I,
the season's over.
yeah.
That's
Now he
going to
has
be
Luis
the biggest
Suarez.
issue. That's going to be the biggest issue when it comes down to like, oh, who's doing more right now? Well, Messi hasn't played a match in months, and he didn't play almost the entire season. So obviously Ronaldo is doing more right now, and like at the time of the year when people are paying attention to soccer internationally, the MLS isn't happening. And
Yeah.
let's say even over the summer, he's going to be playing in Copa America.
Yeah, that is true.
Like, Messi's going to play like 15 matches a year for Inter Miami for a couple of years. He's going to call it quits. He's going to have ownership in the team. He's going to have fucking stake in the MLS. And he's just going to retire and have a shitload of money to fuck around with.
Yeah.
Whereas Ronaldo actually has to keep trying. Messi's
Yeah.
doing nothing and just
I
reeling
don't
in
know.
money.
But that is ridiculous, though, that Ronaldo scored more goals than anybody
Definitely.
else last year.
Definitely. In the least competitive league that he could have probably played in, because he could have been in the Prem, could have been in La Liga, he could have been Serie A, Bundesliga,
Yeah.
Liga, all of them more competitive. Chose Saudi
Yeah.
Arabia. It's not as impressive as it could have been.
Yeah, for sure.
That's how I see it.
For sure. But no, I mean, the amount of times that those poor Saudi Arabian defenders have had to see
Yeah,
this,
that's true.
it's actually just unfair.
Yeah,
Like, they don't know what's going on.
yeah.
They
Every
have no
single,
idea what they're
like,
doing.
there's like some, I'm trying to remember one of the team names that's not. There's some like Al Ali fan that's like 7 years old, and like every time he sees it, like Ronaldo go like this, he just starts crying.
Yeah.
He's like, not again. Fuck.
Oh, man. Damn.
Sheffield United is interested in another guy, and I'm not gonna fuck this one up because I know he hasn't gone there yet. They're trying to get a loan deal for Roberto Firmino. So speaking of Saudi Arabia, guy that's been there now, it's just one season, not even 6 months, I think. For Al Ali, funny enough. Looks like he's trying to get out, and I think a loan deal to Sheffield would not be a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, for Al Ali, he has 17 appearances and 3 goals.
Yeah.
So, not too great there, but I mean, yeah, why not? I
Yeah.
don't really know. Like any player to Sheffield United sounds
Yeah,
good
exactly. Like,
for
oh,
them.
Roberto Firmino had like 2 good seasons in the Prem. He'd be great for Sheffield United.
Yeah, throw him in there.
Fuck it. And this is just news. It's not really transfer news, but well, I guess it's partially transfer news. Nottingham Forest might face a points reduction for financial fair play violations.
No, no, not Nottingham
Imagine.
Forest.
Imagine. Like, this is just the biggest insult to injury ever. Like, right now,
Wow.
Nottingham is playing pretty bad. Like, okay, they've won their last 2 against Man U and Newcastle, which is pretty cool. But they have 20 points right now. If they even got the 10-point reduction that Everton got, they would be second to last in the table.
Yeah.
Like, that would suck. And, like, it's not like
That
any of
would
the
be
moves they've made have been just groundbreaking moves.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. That would really hurt them, though.
Yep. Okay, I got a few more news things that have come up since we started recording. So, Olivier Giroud is yet to sign a new contract at AC Milan, meaning that this summer he could go to the MLS.
And still somehow score like a solid 15 goals.
Yeah. Yeah, he's good for it.
Yeah.
That's insignificant news.
Hmm.
Let's see what else we got. Oh, this is a big one. Arsenal and Man City are set to compete for Pedri this summer.
Oh, wow.
That would be a huge move for him to come to the Premier League.
Yeah, that would probably draw attention from other teams in the Prem as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think Arsenal and Man City being the 2 teams that are linked to everybody that's good in a different country just pisses me off.
Yeah,
Because, like, they already have all the best at that position in the Premier League.
yeah, literally.
Like, what?
Oh, there's something actually I can bring up. And I actually could see this happening, and I want to debate this with you. Kevin De Bruyne, does Manchester City really need him to come back, or is he somebody that could go to Saudi Arabia in the summertime?
Nah, Kevin De Bruyne needs to come back, and he's gonna come back literally within the next like couple of weeks when they restart. I'm pretty sure is his plan. Um, no, they need him because he makes everybody on that team look better.
Yeah, that I mean, definitely. But I've been seeing a lot of news to him going to Saudi Arabia,
I
or
he
them
doesn't
them
he doesn't
inquiring about
seem
him.
he doesn't seem like that like he would.
No,
Then
no,
again,
I definitely
there's
agree with
plenty of
that.
other people that I thought wouldn't go, and they did, but he just doesn't. He
Yeah,
doesn't. He doesn't fit that mold to me.
I don't know. We'd have to see.
Yeah, of course, but I think I'd rather give up Julian Alvarez than Kevin De Bruyne, even at this point in their careers.
I don't know. You could probably get a lot for Kevin De Bruyne selling him to Saudi Arabia.
But Julian Alvarez is young, which meaning you could get a lot of money out of some other country. Think about what
True.
they
I
would
don't know.
get. Like, think about we just talked about how Barcelona needs a new striker. Imagine get Barcelona to fork over some money for Julian Alvarez.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. We'll see.
We will see. Indeed.
Newcastle are favorites to sign Stuttgart forward Seru Girassi. And if they want him this January, they only have to pay for his £15 million release clause.
Easy money.
Yeah, that is a fucking great pickup. I'd be
Is there
totally down
still
for that.
Kimpembe news for y'all or no?
I haven't heard anything about us going after a center back, considering Botman's back in the lineup.
Okay.
I think a lot of the focus has been on a striker, possibly, um, a midfielder because of Tonali, and then a keeper.
Yeah, and then getting Guy Moraes the hell out of there.
No, fuck off.
Oh boy.
Let's see, anything else to look at?
Or is it questions time?
It might just be. Let's see. Tilo Kehrer is going on loan to AS Monaco from West Ham.
Okay.
In
Who is
case
that?
you, I can't remember if is he a center back or a keeper?
Sounds like a keeper. Here we go.
I know he's German. Center back. He's played a decent amount for that team. But he's typically stuck behind what's that guy, Aguerd?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Aguard or
Yeah.
Aguerd. Yeah, something like that.
All right. I'm not seeing any other news. Yeah, nothing else. All right, it's questions time.
All right.
Nathan submitted quite a few questions, some fun ones. Got some new ideas that me and him have been cooking up for the questions he could be asking. So, we'll see how this goes. All
All
right,
right.
we'll just so the final one is gonna be that question I talked about earlier, where there's a particular answer. It's for you
Okay.
since I have the answer, but we'll start off with our opinion. Would you rather, or who would you rather have this year, Josh Allen or Joe Burrow from early in this season? Both
That's a
of them
good
fully
question.
healthy, but who would you rather have?
I would probably still take Burrow. I like Burrow's ability to not really turn the ball over that much, even though he was doing that a lot at the beginning of the season. And I think Burrow just spreads the ball around more. He gets a lot of guys involved that I guess wouldn't be like your wide receiver fours and fives and your tight end twos and threes. That's what I like about Burrow. So I would probably go with Burrow.
Yeah. I think if we're talking
Mm.
early this season, Burrow, how inconsistent his accuracy was, I think I'd have to stick with Josh Allen. The deep ball threat is always going to be something to look at. The ability to run the ball is amazing, leaps and bounds ahead of Joe Burrow. I think to me it's
That
probably
is
going to be
true.
Josh Allen.
All right.
All right.
Nice little.
Who would you rather have as your running back duo? Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier, or Najee Harris and Jalen Warren?
I'd probably take Bijan and Algier.
I
They
would too.
just are a little bit more consistent. You know what to expect from Bijan and Algier.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, maybe it would be different if Najee kept getting better,
agreed.
like he should have. Um, but no, for now, I'm gonna take Bijan and Algier.
Yeah, that's definitely where my head's at. I think Bijan and Algier both have 10 times more upside
Yeah,
at the moment over them.
definitely.
Okay. This is going to be a fun one. Who do you think is going to win the fantasy football championship in our league, Colin or Mike? Obviously, Colin, our other co-host. Mike, a two-time guest on the show. Luke didn't make the championship because his team choked and Colin beat him. I'm going to pull up the matchup right now. Let's see. Let's see.
Yeah, let's look at this matchup.
So, where the fuck did it go? Oh, scoreboard. There we
Third place game versus fucking
go. All right.
Scott. Unbelievable.
All right. So somehow two teams that finished the season 7-8, third in their divisions, make the championship game. And for Colin's team, this fucking ad won't go away. Okay. Come on. Fuck off, ESPN Fantasy. Shit.
All right. You have yeah, for Collins' team, he is Justin Fields at quarterback, Khalil Herbert running back. Are we going through the whole lineup?
Well, you know, me and you could just kind of talk about the guys we think will make an impact.
Yeah, I don't know, man, because his best player being Tyreek Hill. I mean, his house was on fire earlier, so
Yeah.
that's got to be
I will say
playing.
Khalil Herbert, the last 2 weeks has been absurd.
Yeah.
And of course, it was
Yep.
the 2 weeks after I dropped him. But Justin Fields has been great as well. They're both playing for something for sure.
Yeah, I like the
James,
quarterback matchup.
yeah,
Jordan
James
Love versus
Conner's an
Justin
interesting
Fields
one.
here.
I think James Conner's
Yeah,
tough because I don't know how that's
Connor's
going to go for Arizona. Same goes for Tyler Lockett. I don't hate really any of them. You probably should take Noah Brown out of his lineup, considering he's out.
Yeah.
But
Probably should.
on Mike's side, Jordan Love, I really like Aaron Jones as well. Etienne, Jettas, all these guys are playing for something outside of like DK, Eckler, Trey McBride. Everybody else got something to play for.
Do you start CJ Stroud over Justin Fields here if you're calling?
Uh, that's tough. I would probably start Stroud personally.
Yeah, I don't know, but Justin Fields gives you that running upside
Yeah,
that
and I think
I
Kyron is on his bench because he's probably not playing this week. Pretty sure is the
yeah.
case.
Yeah.
And then Zay Flowers, probably not going to play either.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's tough.
I'm leaning more towards Colin in this one, but Mike, Mike's
Mike,
got a shot. I
Mike's got
just
a lot of
don't
guys
know.
that are playing for something. That's the big
I
difference to
don't
me.
I don't know if I like Eckler or Kamara for Mike though.
Agreed. I don't either.
And that's his flex spot. I love Etienne though, and
Yeah.
DK. And then, we've seen it to where Aaron Jones just sometimes won't have a good game. So I don't know. I'm kind of leaning more towards Colin, I think.
Yeah, I
I think
think
Colin's
having
going to be right.
Tyreek and Laporta and Khalil Herbert, that's going to be a big thing for sure. And then the Patriots defense against the Jets is big. I think that's a good one to have.
Yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
so yeah, I'm siding with. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going with Mike. I trust Jordan Love.
Okay.
Yeah, I think having Jordan Love,
That's cool.
Jettas, and DK, kind of all playing for something. You know, DK not really, but they have a chance to make it in.
Yeah.
I think that's a big deal for Mike. But also,
Okay.
Colin has some changes to make because like Noah Brown's out, and he has a couple other guys he could choose from. All
That is
right,
true.
next thing If there were no injuries, would you rather have Raheem Mostert or Devin Achane this season?
Ooh. I mean, Raheem Mostert is kind of more your RB1 type guy,
Yeah.
but I really liked what Devin A. Chain was able to do.
Yeah, I'm Mostert through and through for this one because yards per carry guy, touchdowns, strong runner. Um,
Yes.
Achane certainly has the ability to be like a flashy running back, but like how many of the best running backs in the league play like Devin Achane?
None of them.
Whereas like
None of
when
them.
you look at the top tier running backs, like Raheem Mostert probably aligns probably better with those kind of guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like your running backs now almost always have to be a threat in the pass game
Yep.
as well as the run game. That's why I think like the Falcons got such a good running back in Bijan Robinson. Like Bijan
Yeah,
Robinson literally has everything it takes to grow into one of the best running backs in the league.
definitely. Yeah.
I mean, he is your model guy, and A Chain's just not. You know, A Chain is kind of your more of your utility knife kind of
Yeah.
player, like your speedster. Not a all around RB1 like Raheem Mostert is, but even Raheem Mostert's not really like all around RB1. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I agree.
But Raheem Mostert definitely over A Chain
Okay.
for sure.
Our next thing. What pitcher do you think you could catch the most consecutive pitches from without allowing a passed ball?
Carlos Rodon. No,
Uh,
because he wouldn't throw it to
no,
me.
he would spike one in the dirt.
Uh,
I'm okay.
yeah.
So I think the baseline would be like Kyle Hendricks because he tops out at like 88.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
But the problem is he's got a
That's a really
nasty
good one.
fucking curveball.
Yeah.
But like I definitely can't get up into like the Degroms because I'm not catching a 95 mph slider.
No.
Same for like
No.
Strider. I think I could probably catch Max Fried, but then again, curveball, really tough movement.
Yeah. um,
Actually,
didn't
I've
Isaiah
got mine.
Kiner Falefa pitch? I think Isaiah Kiner Falefa pitched a little bit this season. I think I'm gonna go with him.
I think the best I could do. Okay, so like if we're going for the most consecutive pitches without allowing a pass ball, then I'm going like Kyle Hendricks or like Rich Hill. Um,
Yeah.
but if it's gonna be the best pitcher that I could catch without giving up a pass ball for like quite a few consecutive pitches, I think I'd go Marcus Stroman. Tops out at like 93. Doesn't throw too much stuff with like crazy movement. Really just a sinker four seam guy.
Yeah.
So I
I mean
think
that's
I'd go
fair.
Stroman. And like I've caught once ever
Have that going
in
for
a
you.
game, which also I was 11. And every time I went up to bat, my legs were fucking shaking from standing. It was bad. All right.
uh,
This is gonna be a fun one. Who is the MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and the Offensive Player of the Year of your NFL team? So mine's the Falcons. Yours is the Steelers.
uh, damn MVP, huh? On the fucking
It's gonna
Steelers,
be tough
probably
for a
TJ
Falcons
Watt.
one. Actually, no, I know mine. He's
Um,
also the Defensive Player of the Year.
yeah, Jesse Bates
Yeah,
for y'all, right?
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Except Offensive Player of the Year, that'd
Uh,
be kind of tough.
yeah. Defensive player of the year, I would probably either give it to Joey Porter, Patrick Peterson, or Alex Highsmith. Alex Highsmith, obvious, but
No TJ.
Patrick Peterson, well, because he's my MVP.
Fair enough.
Um, Patrick Peterson actually played safety for the second time in his
Yeah,
entire career a couple games ago and got an interception. So I love the versatility there. He's also PPF graded as I think top 10 coverage with Joey Porter. I think Joey Porter was like 4 and Patrick Peterson was like 8 or 9.
yeah.
Um, but I think for defensive player of the year, I'd probably just go Alex Highsmith. Um, offensive player of the year, though, oh my god, literally fucking nobody on our offense. I would probably go with Broderick Jones,
I
the
like that.
the tackle out of Georgia. He really
Yeah.
showed some fight. He's played a couple different positions in offensive line, and I like what he's been able to do. So either Broderick Jones or I'd probably just give it to him,
Okay.
honestly.
So I think for my MVP, I don't want to. Man, it's tough. You know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna go Jesse Bates for the MVP. He's clearly been our best player all season. Um, Defensive Player of the Year. Um, there's quite a few guys I could go with. Like Calais Campbell, honestly, has a case for it. Um,
Yeah.
Arnold Ebiketie has a case for it. Um, I might go Caden Ellis. Um,
Ooh.
he's been a sleeper for sure. So yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna go Caden Ellis, defensive player, or Nate Landman, one of the two. Um, yeah, one of those two. I can't really decide which one, honestly. And then offensive player of the year, I'm not gonna go Bijan, only because of a couple of games where he just didn't play and nobody even said he was hurt or whatever. Arthur. Um, I'm gonna go
uh,
Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith
that's a good
was
one.
fantastic. A guy that I
So
did
not
not
Drake London.
anticipate. Sorry.
I said not Drake London.
No, I think with the quarterback situation, he kind of got fucked over. Um, didn't
Fair.
quite meet my expectations. So I'm gonna go Jonnu.
Okay. Yeah, that's a really good pick. I've kind of noticed he's been one of y'all's consistent guys
Yeah,
too, which is crazy to think that you guys also have Kyle Pitts at that position and he's
yeah.
not offensive player of the year.
No,
But damn.
caught a couple of touchdowns this year though. That's nice. All
Yeah,
right,
he did.
all
He
right,
did.
Luke. So this is a guess who. So there's 6 questions, and for each question, you get to have a guess for who this person is.
Oh.
And
Okay.
the hints progressively get much easier, obviously. So, Luke, first thing. So I guess they're hints, and then you get to give us a
Yeah.
possible answer. So, I was
Okay.
drafted in 2011 in the first round.
You said 2011?
Yep.
Ooh. And I have to guess for every one of them.
You don't
Cameron
have to
Hayward.
guess. You can defer.
Cameron Hayward is my guess.
That is
First rounder to 2011.
incorrect.
Damn.
Number 2. I
Okay.
have 2 interceptions, or sorry, I had 2 interceptions in my rookie season for the Cardinals.
I think I might know who it is.
Okay.
I think it is Patrick Peterson.
It sure is. That's why I
Yeah.
was not saying anything this whole time you've been talking about Patrick Peterson, because I knew that the next thing I was literally going to ask you was about him. Okay, well, I guess we'll go through the rest of the hints. That was impressive. 2 hints. I think Nathan probably shouldn't have put rookie season for the Cardinals. He should have just said I had 2 interceptions in my
Yeah.
rookie season.
You should have just said I had 2
Yeah,
interceptions. Yeah.
the Cardinals definitely gave it away. And then I have 2 interceptions this season. Before this weekend, I played in 200 career games. I wear number 20 for the Steelers. And then the last one, my Twitter handle is P2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good one though, but
Yeah,
no,
that was good.
I
I think what
I
we'll do
knew
now is I'll have Nathan come up with one of those, and oh shit. My dad just texted me some breaking news. The Ravens signed
Uh-oh.
Dalvin Cook, and he is eligible to play in the first round of the playoffs. Wow.
What? So
Wow.
wait, when was he not a Jet
He got
anymore?
released on Tuesday. Or they mutually agreed to part ways, or whatever the fuck they want to call it.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be kind of OP if he even sees the field.
Dude, think of him and Gus Edwards. That's a fucking fantastic duo.
Yeah, Gus Edwards and Keaton Michael. Or
Mitchell.
is that his name?
Yeah,
Mitchell.
Keaton
I knew
Mitchell.
it was something else.
Um, okay, yeah. Dalvin Cook's a Raven.
Damn,
He won't be this week, but
that
he will next.
sucks.
That's crazy. How did they just get better? Like, that's insane.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Did you see where Odell said it was the best team he's ever been on?
Yeah, or he said the most complete team.
Yeah, he's probably right. Probably right.
It's between this and the
I don't
Rams
know.
team.
Yeah, the Rams team was sick.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like it definitely wasn't the Browns, and definitely not the Giants. So
Was Odell on any really OP LSU teams?
no, he was kind of like just after and just before some of the best.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Huh.
so it'd have to be this year's, or
Yeah,
the Rams. All right, Luke, that was a very fun episode. Lot of
comeback
stuff going on. The
episode.
next time that you'll be here, we'll be talking about some playoff football. That's a big deal.
Ooh, and my background will be different. It'll be back to Athens for me.
Yes, back to
So
school starting next week,
back to school.
unfortunately.
Ugh,
Um, but
yeah, that sucks.
this was a super fun episode, and I'm sure the viewers had a great time. But if the viewers want to show their appreciation for us, they should follow, like, subscribe, comment, rate 5 stars, write a written review, follow us on all the social media platforms, and just kind of pick and choose which ones you're doing those on. You know, obviously you can't subscribe on Instagram. You can follow there, and you can't follow on YouTube, but you can subscribe there. You know how to do it, okay? And all the links or all the names are right here. You can find the link tree on
Yes,
all the
sir.
social media accounts, and we will see you guys next week. Luke, anything else for the people?
Um, I hope you guys had a good break from school. All of our collegiate listeners, or maybe even high school. I think high school may have started back earlier this week, but anyway, one more semester until summer. Stay strong. Out.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.